This podcast is brought to you by JList.com. JList.com is an online mecca for anime merchandise. Whether you want anime figures, Japanese snacks, anime magazines, toys, bento boxes, or whatever else, visit JList.com because you know they're going to have whatever you're looking for. You can browse their selection for all your anime shopping needs and be supporting this podcast. And now, let's get it started.
みんなアニメアディクツアノニマスのライブブロードキャスト聞かないと泣いちゃうよ You are listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAAPodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 421, the 421st episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. I am your host, Mitsugi, and I am very pleased to be here with you guys today. I am joined by two lovely people I have starting from a land where they feast heavily upon lasagna and slide down the slippery slopes of lasagna noodles into vats of double sin chili from the land of Cincinnati. Her name is Mandy. Welcome.
Hello. How did Cincinnati become known for lasagna?
Double sin.
Lasagna.
So sinfully delicious that Cincinnati has two sins in it.
No.
And hailing from Brooklyn, where there is always police cars and construction outside his apartment, sitting without a shirt, nor a pair of pants, nor socks, but in his pure, unbridled underwear, his name is Enzo, and how are you?
Oh, dude, you just made me have goosebumps literally all over my body. What a welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Wow.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Did you guys miss me last week? Yes? No?
Nope.
Yes?
What?
No? What?
Kidding.
Oh.
Yeah, we missed you so much.
Jeez.
Now, quickly, let's do a quick exercise here. We're going to check the sync ratio of Mandy and Enzo, much like the sync ratios of an Evangelion, and we are going to see if you two can, in sync, say what our tagline is for this podcast. What is the mission of this podcast, my two friends?
To make your anime addiction worse.
Oh my god. We both started slowing down at the same time.
Difficult when you're not in the same room, but not bad.
It's over the airwaves. It's over the airwaves. That's why.
It needs work.
Because I started slowing down and he started slowing down. Oh, man.
From this day forward, you're going to eat together, you are going to sleep together, you're going to pee together, you're going to file a joint income tax return. Praxis starts now.
We have literally done all those things already.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would like to check out this podcast and all the social media, you can go to our website, AAAPodcast.com. Along the top bar, there's a couple interesting things for you. You can submit a mailbag, so you can ask us questions. You can find our Discord by clicking on the Join the Discord button, which will take you directly to our Discord page, where there are upwards of 500 people now chatting and having conversations.
It's so much fun.
Manga club, D&D, literature club, watch parties, on and on. We got it all. And of course, next to that button, you can join the AAA, which will allow you to get exclusive access to over 100 hentai episodes, over 100 hobby addicts, and over 200 after parties, 400 exclusive podcasts to you for a mere couple shackles that'll keep this podcast existing. So we will reward you for helping us out.
Yeah,
so
put some clothes on my back. You know what I'm saying?
This man is naked. He can't
I'm
even have
because
socks.
we need podcast dollars.
Listen, I walked into Enzo's room the other day, and trust me, not a pleasant sight. Just to tell you that right now.
It's bad.
The man is sitting on his bed, and he's got three holes in every sock, with his big toe, his middle toe, and his small toe sticking out of both socks. And I said to him, "This man's poor. Just take the damn socks off."
It takes a special kind of broke to achieve the triple hole in a sock. You guys understand what I'm saying right now?
He can't even
a special
afford
kind
socks.
of poor.
He can't even afford socks.
Please subscribe. Help your boy out, okay?
Please help your boy out. So, well then, without further ado, on this podcast, we're going to be talking about serious, quote-unquote serious anime stories that would make successful Hollywood adaptations suggested by Creampuff from the Discord. So head over to the Discord once again if you want to, be able to do fun things like that. We're also going to wrap up our spring 2018 impressions with Gura Zeni, Steins Gate Zero, Lupin the Third Part 5, Tadakun Never Falls in Love, and Roku Hyodo Yotsuiro Biori. So, all right, guys, how's everybody feeling today? Pretty good? Everybody feeling good?
I'm really happy to be here, except that I will apologize in advance. My throat hurts. My nose is stuffed. It's allergy season. It came in real hot this season for me. So if I sound like a fucking nerd, excuse me, please.
Well, so long as it's just allergies.
Yeah, I'm okay otherwise.
Okay. Well, also today's Mother's Day, so I want to thank all the mothers. I know that my mother is listening. She tolerated many years of being tormented by me and my brother. She sat through Ninja Scroll. She sat through Akira. She sat through probably things worse than Ninja Scroll, all in an effort to help groom me for doing this podcast. So without the mothers, including my mother, there would not be, perhaps not an anime podcast for you to listen to. So we love you.
Wow. Yeah, shouts out to my mom for always yelling at me to turn off my game, which embedded me the need to always find a save point and explaining that to people. Very useful skill in real life. Where you always find a save point in life, take a break.
It's a shame your mother didn't tell you to put clothes on, but whatever.
She definitely didn't do that.
I can tell.
Shout out to my mom for always kicking me off my game so she could play.
Damn.
Your mom is such a nerd.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right, well, without further ado, let's jump right into the big news of the week.
Yeah.
It's time for big news of the week.
All right, Hajime Isayama, the manga creator of Attack on Titan, shares his inspiration for the Attack on Titan story. So, those of you that are big Attack on Titan fans, you may already know this, but Hajime Isayama shared that he grew up in his hometown of Hita, which is located in Oita, which he described as being a city cut off from civilization by vast, giant, tall mountains. So I guess this city is like nestled in between a bunch of mountains, like in a valley maybe.
Yeah.
And he grew up wondering whether monsters would lay beyond these quote-unquote walls of, that enclosed his town, and which is kind of an interesting visual. So you can imagine someone looking at these mountains around your town and thinking of them as giant walls that are trapping you in. And there's there you go. There's the design for the cities in Attack on Titan.
That's actually really cool. That's where the theme kind of really shines through in the show too. The theme of we live within these walls. Sometimes it's comfortable, but then sometimes we're afraid of what's outside because it's a whole new world. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you a question, Enzo?
Yeah, man.
Do you ever feel bad for the Titans?
It's wild. It's really actually interesting you asked me that, because I do sometimes feel bad for the Titans, because as far as we know, they're just doing their own thing, man. They're just hungry. They're trying to live.
I mean, you and the Titans have so many things in common. You're both hungry.
Oh my god.
You're both hungry. Buy me a pizza. And like the Titans, you are always naked.
Enzo is a pizza titan. Yes.
I'm upset because I can't argue these points.
You are a pizza titan.
Pizza titan.
My name is Enzo Badia, and I am a pizza titan. It's my first step to recovery there, everyone.
Well, at least you can admit it. You got 11 more to go. So, also, Hajime Isayama said that he felt very restless as a teenager and eventually left his town out of what he called a sense of inferiority. I'm not really sure why. Maybe he just felt like living in the boonies made him not as good of a person. Yeah. It was his frustration that eventually channeled into Attack on Titan, as the two main themes of the story are oppression and release. So,
yeah, exactly. Cool. I'm glad that my extrapolation was kind of on in line.
Keep it in your pants, Enzo. that you're not wearing.
Do you guys remember when he was like really into Game of Thrones and he redrew like a bunch of Titans as Game of Thrones characters as Titans?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I gotta find the picture of it.
Yeah, link me that. That sounds interesting.
Like one of them was Tyrion.
I could totally see Tyrion as a Titan, like the small Titans too.
So pretty cool. It's always cool to hear the inspiration behind popular stories, you know, because
Absolutely,
you don't always get that info. So when you do get it, it's kind of special. So it's very interesting. And I know there are definitely a lot of Attack on Titan fans out there. So, you know, if you want to read more about this, you can find it on various websites where you can probably read the entire interview. So, any other comments, or shall we continue?
No, that was
Nope,
cool.
we're good.
I'm really happy about
Put
learning
some
that.
pants on, for God's sake.
I can't. There's not enough subscribers.
Oh, shit. Can't even afford pants? This is
No,
sad.
I need help.
This is sad. Moving on.
Howdy, partner. I seen you riding in on that dusty trail. Welcome to the good, the bad, and the moe.
Alright, so for the good, the bad, and the moe, we have, for the good, Dragon Ball voice actress Masako Nozawa receives the Japanese government's Child Welfare Award. The Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare awarded Nozawa with its special award for her contributions to the sound upbringing of children. Nozawa has voiced roles for over 200 anime, but is most known for her role as Goku in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So, and I kind of agree, because Goku, I feel like, kind of raised me like a father, to be honest. And
Yeah, in a weird way, kind of same.
so, in a weird way, this woman raised me as a father, even though she's a woman. So, thank you. So, happy Mother's Day to you also.
Happy Mother's
Yeah.
Day to her. Yeah.
She seems like a sweet lady too.
And, well, we know she's great at screaming. Can you
She definitely
imagine?
she's just screaming down packed as an art.
Can you imagine how horrifying it would be growing up to have Goku screaming at you, like if you were
Oh
misbehaving?
man.
I mean, just
Go
think
to
about that.
your room.
Oh my god. For the bad, we had a death in the anime community. Wicked City Space Adventure Cobra music composer Osamu Shoji passed away. Osamu Shoji died on April 30th due to malignant lymphoma. He was 85. He composed music for Space Adventure Cobra, Wicked City, Galaxy Express 999, Blackjack, and the 2016 anime film A Silent Voice used his classic 1972 composition Kaiju no Ballad as one of the themes in the movie. So, very, very well-known composer in the anime community passes on, but I'm glad he made it to 85. That sounds like a pretty good length of
Yeah.
time on this earth, so...
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good chunk of time. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there's a legacy there, so that's always something that when people pass away, I think it's always important to think about the legacy they left behind. That's cool.
Well,
You know, like 85 years, cool composer, left behind a lot of good music. So
Yep.
that's awesome.
and for the Moe, the winners of the 42nd Kodansha Manga Awards are out. So there are 3 categories: Shonen, Shoujo, and General. The winner of the general categories were Sanju Mariko. I don't know. I don't read manga, but maybe Mandy knows some of these. Sanju Mariko, written by Yuki Ozawa, published in B Love. Fragile, Byori Kishi Keiichiro no Shoken by Saburo Megumi and Bean Kusamizu, published in Afternoon. Both of those won in the general category. Shonen category was won by B-Stars by Paru Itagaki
Yeah.
and Arslan Senki by Hiromu Arakawa.
Oh, cool. Good job,
Everyone
Arslan
is
Senki.
telling me to read Beastars, so I'm gonna get on it.
Manga Club?
Manga Club.
Maybe.
Join the Discord,
see.
Manga Club. Come on. Come on,
Yes,
people.
right now we're reading. Well, it'll be too late when this comes out, but this Wednesday we're reading Bakuman.
Okay.
Oh, I'm missing out on Bakuman.
Yep.
Ah, I'll try to
Volumes
catch
1 through 3 for people who are
I can
watching
do
live.
that. I can do that. Okay.
For
Yeah.
Sorry.
in the shoujo category, Tomei na Yurikago from Sanfuji Kain. Oh, that might be the third word in the title. I don't know. This is Tomei na Yurikago San Fujinkain. Wow, that's a long title.
That is.
Kangoshi Minarai Niki by Baka Okita, published in Hasu Kiss, and Koiwazurai no Eli by Momo Fuji, published in Dessert. There's a crapload of like manga publications.
Mm-hmm.
Crap, good lord. So congratulations to all those people that won. It's have you heard of any of these other than Beastars and Arslan Senki?
I've heard. Well, yeah, I've heard of those two, and Lovesick Ellie, which is the one that the last one that you just read. The English title is Lovesick Ellie. I've heard of that one. I haven't read it yet though. Some of these, I was looking them up because I didn't know if maybe I knew the English titles and not the Japanese ones. A lot of these don't have English translations yet. So
not yet. Maybe. I mean, after winning an award, maybe. Like, do you think that ups the chance of them getting translated?
Possibly. We'll find out.
Cool.
I'm still waiting.
But yeah, some of these I've never heard of.
I'm still waiting for an anime adaptation of Onani Master Kurosawa. That's a manga that I really like, but I doubt that'll ever happen. All right, let's move on to the next segment, assuming I can find the drop, which is
I believe in you.
Well, finding the drops is becoming harder and harder, but I found it. Here we go.
It's time for hot new anime releases.
And since that drop is heavily laden with Yu Yu Hakusho, I should make a note that for those of you that play Puzzles and Dragons, starting Monday, May 14th, and probably running for about 2 weeks, the Puzzles and Dragons will be having a collaboration with Yu Yu Hakusho where you will be able to capture most of the characters from Yu Yu Hakusho, all the heroes, and some of the villains, including the Toguro brothers. So, in case you care. Hot new anime releases. Viz Media produces an animated series, Seis Manos, for Netflix. So this matters really because Viz Media is producing its first ever animated series. I was kind of shocked by this. Viz Media doesn't produce it, doesn't create anime. They just like license it. So I don't know.
Right. That's interesting. Okay, well, do you think, like over under, do you think it'll be good?
I don't know anything about this. Seis Manos. Let me read the synopsis.
Yeah.
Netflix describes a story set in Mexico in the 1970s. Seis Manos enters the 3 orphaned martial arts warriors who join forces with a DEA agent and a Mexican federale to battle for justice after their beloved mentor is murdered on the streets of their tiny border town.
That's potential.
Yeah. Well, you know,
that has potential to be pretty badass.
Yet another Netflix anime that doesn't at all sound like what you're used to.
Right. Yeah.
So
in case, just for the people out there that don't speak Spanish, seis manos means 6 hands in Spanish.
Interesting.
So it makes sense as 3 martial arts warriors because they have 6 hands.
Mm-hmm.
So that synopsis, it's very vague. You can also call it generic, but I like that it's set in Mexico. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that it's Mexican people in Mexico. That's also cool. So I'm in. Like, I'll try it. And like, for Viz Media to come out now to do their first production, they had to have been taking notes from pretty much every anime they've ever licensed. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they're gonna come out swinging pretty strong.
I mean, yeah, at this point, I'm pretty much willing to give anything that comes out of Netflix a shot.
That too.
But I'm a little hesitant because Viz Media is not experienced in making anime. So, but I mean, I already pay for Netflix, so it's not like I have to pay extra to watch this or even to check it out. So yeah, I'll check it out for sure. The next one on the list here is the novel Boku wa Robot Goshi no Kimi ni Koi o Suru gets an anime movie called I Fall in Love with You Through a Robot. The synopsis, set in the year 2060. This one kind of sounds like an Enzo anime. Set in the year 2060.
Yeah, I'm so in.
The novel follows a love story as Tokyo's 3rd Olympics draws near. Takeru Osawa, who works for the AI Robot Technology Research Lab, is chosen as a member of the National Secret Project using humanoid robots with the help of childhood friend and coworker Yuichiro Amano and his sister Saki. Takeru tries his best to reach his objectives. However, the situation changes when Saki's office receives a warning note for terrorism.
Oh, that took a
Whoa.
turn. That took a turn I was not expecting.
Boku
Yeah.
wa Robot Goshi no Kimi ni Koi o Suru is a long-running novel by Yusuke Yamaguchi, and it has sold over 170,000 copies.
So, is it a romance?
I don't
With that
Well,
synopsis, I'm not sure.
That's what is that?
Well,
Yeah.
look it up.
Well, okay, a couple of things about the synopsis that get me interested. First of all, it sounds like sci-fi, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Which is cool. So that's a check for me. There's the word love is in there, so like that's a check for me.
Oh, that,
Personally.
for Enzo to watch it, all you have to do is put love in the title. You heard it here.
Yeah, but make it cute, good art, cute sci-fi. I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah, it does say sci-fi romance. Interesting.
In other words, Enzo's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's my little area right there. Just heartwarming robots stuff.
And thank
Heartwarming-
goodness,
heartwarming robots.
because anytime I need love, I always know I can count on Enzo.
Yeah, I got you, baby.
All right.
Mwah.
So again, that one's called "I Fall in Love with You Through a Robot." So, which is not grammatically correct, but hey, that's Japan.
Oh, really quick, Mandy, is 170,000 a lot?
Of what?
No.
Wait, what?
Well, maybe for
The
Japan.
novel copies, is that a lot of copies?
Oh, I don't know.
It doesn't seem like a lot, considering in the news break coming up, the Attack on Titan Volume 25 sold like 1.1 million copies of that manga in like a week.
Okay.
So
Ha-
I'm guessing it's not a
This
lot.
is total? Oh, okay, so this is total. No, I don't think that's a whole lot.
Well,
But,
sometimes it's just the story that they want and not the pre-established popularity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I wonder because relativity matters with the numbers like that. But okay, I still think it's cool sounding though.
But I think it's coming from a light novel. I don't know as much about light novels and manga.
All right.
So I don't know how much they
Gotcha.
typically sell.
Enzo gave it his romance stamp of approval. So let's move on. Trivia this week. The answer for the trivia is still along the theme of areas of Tokyo, where I show you a picture of an area of Tokyo and you have to tell me what borough it is. This time it was Shibuya. And I was actually surprised that so many people got it right because it wasn't all that obvious. But way too many correct answers to read. But this answer, the winner this week is Cherryface, yet again, who won last week. So congratulations again.
Oh,
You
wow.
have literally done something that is not very likely. So well done. And
Yeah, congrats.
if you
Luck
go to-
is on your side, friend.
that's right. If you go to the website, AAAPodcast.com, after you're done going to signing up for the Discord and going to AAAPodcast.com/join so you can join the Anime Addict ranks, you can play the trivia at the bottom of the website. And this is the last round of the current trivia, so next week we will be giving something away. So, as always. Anything else, guys?
No,
Nope.
I'm
Think we're
having a
good.
good time.
You having a good
Mhm.
time? You feeling good?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Do you want me to do the in-show weekly trivia?
Are you feeling good
Or,
in your underwear?
Oh yeah.
All right, Mandy, since you're so excited about the in-show trivia, why don't you read it?
In Dragon Ball Z, which other Z fighter does or goes with Goku to get his driver's license?
You know the answer to that question?
I don't know if I know.
Blaspheme. All right, and when we get back, we're going to be taking care of that, and we'll be doing a main topic on serious anime stories that would make successful Hollywood adaptations, suggested by Creampuff from our Discord. So stay tuned, and we're going to get back with that in a minute. So don't go anywhere, or Enzo will cry.
I will. I actually will though.
No sob.
Don't go, please.
Hey everybody, it's Mitsugi, and it's time for your anime news break. Leading us off this time, Kadokawa's monthly new type magazine does have anime rankings that go out seemingly every month. And this past month, Cardcaptor Sakura is dominating their rankings. The new Clear Card sequel to Cardcaptor Sakura, the characters Lee Sioran and Sakura Kinamoto both placing first place in their respective character categories, which are improvements from last month where Lee placed 10th in the most popular male character and Sakura placed 4th in the most popular female character. Also, Cardcaptor Sakura has placed first place overall in the best anime series for the month, the top 5 being Persona 5 The Animation, Sword Art Online, Gun Gale Online, Darling in the Franxx, Fate Extra Last Encore, and then of course Sakura and Cardcaptor Sakura are top of the list. So for those of you that follow a new type, there are your rankings. Next up, Cowboy Bebop is getting a cafe in the Good Smile Animate Cafe. They are creating some of the food and environments seen in the series, right down to the bell peppers and beef, which of course we all know had no beef. Visitors can visit the cafe, can have some of the following food items: the bell peppers and beef plate, a samba mushroom burger, Oniyate Ranch Special Son of a Gun, Ganymede Seafood Pizza, Spaghetti with Meatballs, Dark Knight's Heavy Rock Dessert, and the I Warned You dessert. I have no idea what half of these items are, but it's pretty cool to see a Cowboy Bebop cafe, and they're also selling items such as mixed drinks, coffees, and of course merchandise as well. So if you're in Japan and you love Cowboy Bebop, make your way over to the Good Smile Animate Cafe and you can check this out. Next, we have some sales reports from Bandai Namco. They announced that the Dragon Ball FighterZ anime-based video game has sold 2.5 million copies worldwide. Namco Bandai also had said that they expected the Dark Souls 3 and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 games to reach 2 million copies sold. However, the two games combined actually sold closer to 5 million, which is a pretty good showing for anime-based titles like Dragon Ball Z. So I guess we're going to be seeing more of these games coming out in the future. So for those of you that were big fans of Dragon Ball FighterZ or the Dragon Ball franchise, that's good news for you. And rounding us out, we have Japan's monthly manga and light novel rankings for April, giving you the top 5 here. Nanatsu no Taizai Volume 31 with nearly 400,000 copies sold. Dungeon Meshi Volume 6 with about 420,000 copies sold. Yotsuba 2 Volume 14 sold 470,000 copies. Kingdom Volume 50 comes in second place with nearly 700,000 copies sold. And of course, number 1, Volume 25 of Attack on Titan, coming in with just over 1 million copies sold. So the Titan of anime is also the Titan of manga. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. Now, time to get back to the podcast.
Hey, Mandy, you look troubled. What's wrong?
Butts.
Excuse me?
It's all of these anime boy butts. There's just so many of them. I can't decide what's my favorite. I've tried to categorize them by firmness, bounciness, rotundness.
Okay. 2 things. First, you may need some serious help. Second, why don't you go look at the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast website?
Can that help me get to the bottom of this?
Stop. You know, puns are my thing, right? Also, no, it won't help you with that at all. You are beyond help. But on our website, you can find all our past shows, along with reviews and trivia. Sign up today, and you'll have access to our Hobby Addicts and Hentai episodes.
Hentai episodes? So I can hear other people review butts for me?
Sure. I guess if you want to look at it that way.
Now that's something I can get behind.
Cheeky.
この番組は JList.com の提供でお送りします。
Never, never 止まらない
Let the people know.
Sing it.
Let the people know. Let them know. Let them know. Let them know, dude. Keep going. Keep going, baby. Keep going, baby. Whip that hair back. Oh, no.
Only danger. It's the only foolish game.
Let them have it. Let them have it. Let them have it.
Dangerous, most dangerous. Man that's sitting in his underwear, Enzo is the most dangerous.
It's suddenly so hot in my room. I don't understand what's going on.
That just did it for you.
Welcome back to the Most Dangerous Podcast.
The most dangerous.
We have the most dangerous man. He's a bad man. It could pop out of his underwear at any time. You just never know. His name's Enzo. What is up?
Never know when it happens, baby.
And you've never seen someone more dangerous with a video game controller in her hand. She will straight up smite you in gaming and then throw the controller at you for a straight up concussion combo. It's Mandy.
What?
Concussion combo.
And as for me, yeah, you just never know when I'll cut my head shaving.
Oh yeah, you never know. The baby will bleed anytime he wishes.
Welcome back to the podcast. Are we all jacked up and good to go?
To this that was hype.
All right, so we're gonna be. Oh yeah, we haven't answered the intro trivia question, which was in Dragon Ball Z, which other Z fighter goes with Goku to get his driver's license? Enzo, you know the answer without cheating?
My best guess is the brother himself, Piccolo.
Did you really know that, or did you look at it? Like
no, I didn't know that. That's like come on. Of all the people to guess, like it's not gonna be Chi-Chi. Chi doesn't have the patience for that.
Chi-Chi's a bitch. Okay.
It's Piccolo, right? It has to be.
It's Piccolo.
Hell yeah, that's the boy. That's the true homie since day one.
That's right. So congratulations, you are indeed the winner of Does Mitsuki's Mom Know? Just kidding.
Wow. Can I be a host on the podcast now?
You can.
Nope.
Wow.
All right,
My dreams are coming true.
We are doing our main topic, which was suggested by Creampuff: serious anime stories that would make successful Hollywood adaptations. The key word being successful. So
okay,
let's not just throw like anything out there like Super Lovers or something, because that's not going to be successful. But
serious is also the key word.
Serious, yeah, serious anime stories. So that just sounds so pretentious. So
yeah, right.
Who would like to begin?
I can go first. Yeah.
Just don't move. Just don't to move around too sprightly, like, because your balls might pop out.
Okay. I'll try my best. I think so. I saw the picks that you guys wrote down. And you guys wrote down a lot of really good ones that I think I would have written down had I not seen you guys do them first.
No,
for sure.
It's a likely story.
But so I reverted back to a genre of anime that I like a lot, which is music, and I think Kids on the Slope could be. I think there's a live action coming, like a series, but I think it could be a really good movie, and the reason I think that is because if you put the production behind this project that was put behind a movie like Whiplash, it could really work. Have you guys seen the movie Whiplash?
No, I have not.
So it's a movie about a jazz drummer student in college, and he gets into this really tough music school, and then in that music school he gets noticed for his drumming, so he gets taken into a really like super duper hardcore like small niche team, like small niche band under this extremely strict music director, and the drumming in it is insane. It's a really good accurate jazz drumming. So I think, and that movie won a lot of awards. It's the same people that made La La Land, I believe. That directed La La Land. So I think with that kind of production behind it, I think Kids on the Slope could be a really good love story that has
here it comes.
theme of music. That has a theme of music behind it, because Kids on the Slope has everything. It has conflict between two friends, conflict between two friends that like. It has conflict between two friends. Love interest and everything, and it has a really beautiful way of portraying music in the anime. So I think that in a 2-hour La La Land whiplashy grandiose kind of context could really work on the big screen.
Yeah, I think it came out in March. I remember seeing it come up in news. But
well, my nipples are hard with excitement. Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Cool.
You are satisfying the Oscar community.
Yep, totally.
Nice.
I think it because the question says Hollywood, I think this would really work off the coattails of Whiplash alone. So yeah,
it doesn't seem like a movie that would require a very big budget. So
probably the budget will probably go into just like original soundtracks if we're not going to use pre-existing jazz licenses. But aside from that, I think it'll just be a normal movie budget with no CG, really, just like people play music instruments.
yeah, I mean, because it seems like the CG is what usually costs a lot. So
Oh, you know what? Captain Avatar in the chat. Let's just bring Yoko Kanno on it. There's no reason why she can't do the sound directing for it.
I
You
mean,
know?
yeah, it's based on a,
Totally.
If you're,
I'm all in.
You're basing it on an anime that she wrote the music for anyway, so you might
Exactly. Might as well. Exactly.
I'm all
Good
in
suggestion.
Yoko Kanno. No shit.
Cool.
No shit.
So my first pick here is piggybacking off of the mecha movie success of Transformers and Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim sort of being successful, but Transformers obviously successful, financially at least. And that would be Patlabor, which is a sort of forgotten anime franchise that like hasn't gotten
Yeah, I don't
much.
think I've ever heard of it myself. No.
So Patlabor takes place in what was at the time the future, but you know, in the anime they say it's like around 1998 to 2002. But Patlabor is fairly old, so that for them was the future at the time. Robots called laborers are used in like lots of industry work, like construction and whatnot. But there's also the Tokyo Police, who have their own fleet of laborers that are used to patrol the city, which is how they got the name Patlabor, which is the patrol laborers, to combat crimes and terrorism and deal with accidents that involve these robots. So the story usually revolves around the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Special Vehicles Section 2, Division 2. So you could think like Bubblegum Crisis, sort of, where you have like people in robot suits fighting robots, you know, or like Dominion Tank Police, where you have police in tanks fighting, you know, other criminals. And then this is sort of in the same vein, you know, it's police fighting criminals, but they're using giant mech robots to fight other robots. So there's like a lot of robot combat. So it would be an action movie. It would have to have a pretty big budget probably, but it would be like an action movie that would have some comedy in it, because Patlabor definitely has some significant comedy in it, and it would be a lot of like a crime drama, probably drama slash robot action movie. So I'm sure that
sounds like fun.
I'm sure that Sir Michael Bay would love it. He would.
Sir Michael Bay. I would like Sir Michael Bay if it was written by someone else.
He has been knighted, Sir Michael Bay.
Sir Michael Bay would love to do this because it would have lots of explosions, or it could.
I think with his name, with a good team around him, it could definitely make money in Hollywood for sure.
Yeah.
Would you want it to stick really close to the story, or would you give them some liberty to make it work?
I mean, I think if they just keep the concept, like it doesn't have to be the exact same crimes, the exact same like shot for shot carbon copy of the anime. You know, if they just keep the concept of like, you know, this police division in these giant robots that are using them to combat crime that are being committed with other giant robots. Like, as long as they keep the general concept the same, I don't really care if the villains or whatever are the same. Because people that watch the movie, most of them aren't gonna have watched Patlabor, and they won't know what it is about. But I think the movie might need a different name, because Patlabor just doesn't jump off the screen at you. It doesn't really shout, "Holy shit, you gotta watch this!" Like, everyone knows Transformers. Pacific Rim makes sense because it's like about monsters coming out of the rift in the ocean or whatever, and so you might need another title. But it could still be based on Patlabor, the same thing. Just give it a different name that's a little fancier. And
that sounds awesome, dude.
And probably put it in Chicago or something, because otherwise, I don't know that anybody's gonna want to watch a movie that's in Tokyo. So I would.
That sounds cool. I'm down for like a mech movie again. I like Pacific Rim a lot.
People love big robot movies too, so yeah.
It's higher risk because it's gonna cost a lot of money. They're gonna be blowing shit up, destroying things, using CG. But you know, if Pacific Rim can break even at least, then you know this could break even also. So
yeah, it might even be doing a mech CG movie could give you some 3D possibilities too that are really cool. Also, I like seeing movies in 3D. I'm on that team.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm not in love with 3D movies, but I could see how this would definitely be a movie that would be offered in 3D. Probably in IMAX also, because
IMAX 3D Michael Bay movie. That sounds like money.
Boom, there you go. Sells,
Yeah, dude.
sells itself. Next.
I think so.
So yeah, when I did mine, keyword was successful. So I was trying to think of ones that would appeal to a Western crowd, didn't have to take place in Japan, because we know that if Hollywood does it, it's not going to take place in Japan. And
Not,
yeah, and things that weren't overly or didn't scream anime, so not like comedies or anything. But my first one was Psychopaths. And
Ooh, yeah, dude.
because and I'm sure everybody already knows what Psychopaths is, but it takes place in future dystopia where people's mental states are being scanned to see if they're capable of a crime, and then authorities are alerted when excessive ratings are detected, and then public safety bureaus are dispatched to either arrest or kill them. But it already bears similarities to like Minority Report.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
And even though it takes place in Japan, I don't think it really has to be in Japan.
Nope.
Do you think so?
No.
No, I don't
No,
think so.
not
I think it
really.
could easily
Yeah.
be changed.
Just put it in New
And-
York. It's easiest for Western audiences.
Yeah.
It could totally take place in New
For
York
sure.
for sure.
That would probably need a lot of CG too, I think. Maybe. But yeah, I think that would do really well.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like a RoboCop 1984.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes. Good sources of influence there. And you know what?
sure.
If it comes out sooner than later, it could ride off the sci-fi coattails of the Blade Runner that just came out.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Because I could see that similar vibe, you know?
But didn't the Blade Runner movie not do well? I feel like it was a flop.
I wouldn't say
Let me
it
look
wasn't a
me
major
look this up.
success. It wasn't a flop though, but I think that movie having come out, it kind of puts sci-fi back on the tongues of people. So if this came out soon, I think people will actually try it because sci-fi is kind of like back-ish in the movies, you know?
For sure. And isn't there another Matrix coming?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's rumors or something or like a cast kind of already set, but I'm not sure, but I did hear that.
The Blade Runner movie was definitely a flop. I mean, it made 250. So the benchmark is a movie has to double its budget to make the money back for the studio, because they have to give so much of it to the
Correct.
theaters. So
Yeah.
on a $150 million budget, Blade Runner made $260 million, which you would probably call that a narrow loss, which is a bummer.
Probably. That is a bummer. I actually never looked up the numbers. I just assumed it broke even at least, which I think it did, I guess. But like I said, not a major success. Not for the star power it had.
Not easy to bring a movie franchise back though after 36 years. I mean, come on, that's
That's
long
true.
time.
That's true.
So
Do you think Psychopaths would have to be like a trilogy, you think? Because I don't know. Could they condense that all into one?
I think. Sorry. By the way, apologies for everyone listening. I keep clearing my throat. I'm sorry, but
It's cool.
I
How
think
dare you.
if they choose the arc, like the main arc, and stick
The
to
main
just the
arc.
main arc, like the relationship between, I forgot their main character, like the girl, the main guy, and the main villain. If they just stick to that, the opening credits could be the memory that the main guy has with the main villain. Then you can cut to the girl waking up, and then she can be our vessel into the narrative of the movie, just like she is in the anime. And I think that can start off with like a lot of context for what the plot is, and then I think that villain lends himself naturally, kind of like he could play the role the same way the Joker does in The Dark Knight, kind of. I mean, obviously not as crazy, but that kind of villain, because he's pretty chaotic evil, but so actually no, he's probably like lawfully, no, I don't know, whatever. Oh, he's definitely chaotic evil anyway, but I think it could work with one movie. I think that plot is not super thick where it can't work in 2 hours.
Yeah, for sure. What Enzo said.
yeah, what he said. I was looking for the nerd alert drop, but I just can't find anything.
Can't find it.
Was that nerd alert worthy?
It definitely was. What the hell is it?
I wonder if he's chaotic evil or is he lawful evil?
Whatever. I have ideas. Okay.
All right, I'll go next.
Okay.
I am going. Both of these next two are a little similar for me, but it's just because I think American audiences like this kind of shit. And the first one I'm going to go with is Gunsmith Cats. Pretty obvious why. Hot girls with guns fighting and sometimes committing crimes. Raleigh Vincent knows. This is the synopsis from my anime list, so prepare yourself. Riley Vincent knows her weapons well, while her partner Minnie Mae Hopkins loves to play with explosives. The pair run a gun shop illegally, and one day Bill Collins of ATF blackmails Raleigh and Minnie Mae into working for the ATF. Little do they know they are getting involved in a mission larger than they can handle or imagine. So this is basically a crime drama with hot girls shooting guns and driving fancy cars. And I think they drive a Shelby.
Sounds awesome.
I think they drive a Shelby Cobra, and they're definitely both really hot, and they like to blow shit up and shoot guns. So you could think like, I don't know, the Tomb Raider movies were successful. So
Yeah.
I mean, I would say
Well, you know what's coming out is that Ocean's 8, I think, is coming out.
Yeah,
Which is
all
like just
female
like
cats now.
8. It's like Ocean's 11, but it's all female. And
Yeah.
it's 8 like of the probably the most badass like female actors out there right now.
I think that movie will.
So
I
this
think-
reminds me of that, and I think this could work even better than Ocean's 8 that's coming out, because this sounds more unhinged fun.
Let's pump the brakes on Ocean's 8. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a major failure. So, you know,
Who's to say?
Yeah,
I'm not. I don't think it's gonna make bajillions dollars, but who's to say?
I just want to pump the brakes on that. You know, like if we learned anything from Ghostbusters 3, you know,
Oh, that movie got shat on so hard.
completely displacing all of the characters that people love the prior movies for is probably not necessarily the best way to make a sequel. But I mean,
You're not wrong. You're
I
not
mean,
wrong.
you
You're not
basically
wrong.
tossed out all these famous people. Brad Pitt's not in it. George Clooney's not in it. What's his name? Matt Damon's not in it. I mean, geez, Louise, you just eliminated like 3 of Hollywood's biggest stars. So I don't know, but Julia Roberts is famous. So
She is.
very famous. You never know.
I think that concept could work. How do you have a certain style in mind for how you picture it in your head?
Well, Gunsmith Cats is sort of a jazzy, stylish OVA. The music's
Awesome.
very, very much like a bebop style, and like I think you gotta keep the action and the sex appeal. You know, like it is what it is. You know, I'm not gonna change Gunsmith Cats entirely. Yeah, I think
What was that?
keep it how it is.
What was that movie that just came out that Edgar Wright directed?
Oh,
Drive.
Edgar Wright. I don't know.
Edgar, right?
Edgar.
I don't know who that is, to be honest.
He did like Shaun of the Dead as well.
Oh, Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. Did you see
I didn't
Baby
see
Driver?
that. Did you
Mitch?
see that?
I did see it. It kind of sounds like the kind of. I think that vibe could fit your movie for sure.
I'm
Look
surprised
it
you
up. I
haven't-
think you might agree.
I'm surprised you haven't seen Gunsmith Cats. I mean, it's a very short watch. It's very,
Yeah, I haven't.
It's very good. It's 3 episodes long. It's worth watching to everybody.
I think I will. This sounds like my jam for sure.
I would say that I think that boy, it's tough between the opening theme of Bebop and the opening theme of Gunsmith Cats. They're very similar, but that's a tough one.
It's only 3 episodes? Huh.
Yeah,
I
it's an
didn't know
OVA.
that.
Came out in the 90s, so
Interesting.
it's one of those forgotten gems, you know.
Hmm.
But it's one of those forgotten
Fair.
gems that doesn't require a lot of investment of your time, so it's easy to watch, very quick.
I wrote it
Totally.
down.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'll watch that, man. If you want to watch that with me, like, I'm down to
Sure.
try it out for sure. I can go next if
I
you're done.
I
Mitch.
vote watch party on the Discord for Gunsmith Cats.
Oh, I'm in. Yeah, let's do that.
That
We'll announce the time on the Discord. Just be on the lookout for that.
Finally,
We
I
have a
wanna
watch
it.
party channel too.
finally
yeah.
a watch party that I will participate in,
We have pleased the Pope.
and we could probably watch it all in one sitting because it's only an hour.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, we should do that. We should just block out a night for it, and let's just do it with the listeners on the Discord.
All right,
Mhm.
I'm curious to hear what other ingenious suggestions you guys have.
Okay, so I'll let you guys pick my next pick. So should I go with another music one, or should I go with a more drama heavy one?
Drama heavy, break it up.
Okay, so I think, and for this one, I would give the director, because I would trust him a lot, not a lot of leeway, but enough leeway to fit it to his style. But I think that Christopher Nolan could super kill Tokyo Magnitude 8.0, because I think Christopher Nolan. So I saw Dunkirk when it came out, and not my favorite movie in terms of like plot that came out, but the way that man used sound design to really over 2 hours just like put more and more and more and more weight on your shoulders about these human beings going through this extremely stressful situation.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it's war. I think I think if you took the characters from Tokyo Magnitude 8.0, you know, the movie starts, you cut to them, their daily lives, they're doing this thing. All of a sudden, the biggest earthquake in Tokyo happens, and then you focus on a few survivors that are together, and you can follow the anime arc or you can not follow the anime arc. But I think Nolan could super kill this idea because he handles stress so well in all his movies. Like in the Dark Knight series, that's heavy. Dunkirk, super heavy tension, and then oh my god, the space one. I forgot the name of the space one. That's really Interstellar. Thank you so much.
That's a crazy movie.
It's a crazy movie, but in the context of that crazy movie, it still felt human, which is incredible. So
It got a little convoluted at the end, but that was a good movie.
Totally. And I think I can picture scenes where like like strong characters break down and finally cry from how stressed they are and how they just admitted to themselves that there's no hope left, blah 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 blah, and then we can end it with like a little light in the dark, or we can not, and that's Nolan's style. So I think this movie could make some serious money. He could maybe even do a set in Japan for the Japanese people too. Who's to say?
And if we've learned anything about Volcano starring Tommy Lee Jones, it's that America loves natural disaster movies.
Yeah, they do. Every time there's one, my dad is always super on it. He's like, I want to go see this movie. He loves them.
Yeah. I think it could work. I think it could super work if he has some leeway away from like the anime's main arc. If he just focused on like the humanity of the situation, I think.
Oh, the humanity.
Oh, the humanity. Mandy, you're next.
All right, so my next one, and I'm really surprised Mitz didn't put this down, but my next one is Monster.
Oh, baby.
Guillermo del Toro was already working, like, planned to do a Monster, but for some reason it was dropped.
Wait. Del Toro was about to do Monster?
Yeah, apparently it's been dropped though. So, but I still think that would make a fantastic Hollywood movie.
So I found this awesome manga shot from Monster of Johan talking, and he says, and I think I posted it in our group text thing, but he goes,
"Oh
yeah, you do.
It's like raining down his face, and he's just looking at the dead at the screen, and he goes, the only thing all humans are equal in is death."
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
you posted that. I was
hardcore.
really surprised you didn't put Monster on your list. I was looking like he didn't put Monster. I was like, well, I'm gonna put Monster.
Good. Well, I'm glad you did, because that means you are smarty pants.
But yeah, I mean, Monster would be fantastic. I mean, people love thrillers too, especially murder mysteries.
Yes.
Especially by Del Toro, dude.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
What?
I don't know what
my
happened
God,
to
what
it.
a missed opportunity. I see Rose in the chat says that he pitched it to HBO, but they said no.
Oh, HBO said no.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wonder.
What's wrong with you, HBO?
What's wrong with you, HBO?
They're dumb as shit, because this is a story that doesn't even barely belong in anime at all.
Yeah.
Nothing about it is anime whatsoever. It's just an awesome suspense crime drama, friggin' amazing.
Yeah, HBO does Game of Thrones. Why they're not going to do Monster?
I don't know. They probably were scared of it because it's anime. If he had pitched it to Netflix, they probably would have said yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe pitch it to Netflix.
I even think you could rewrite Monsters so that's not in Europe. Couldn't you? I think so.
Yeah, it could be set anywhere.
Easily.
Or set it in Europe. Fuck it. Like it's
Since when do we hate Germany?
True.
I mean, most of it takes place in Germany, right? So
Yeah.
it's a fairly recognizable place.
I feel like he could pitch it to because Hulu's doing a huge push to get more original content. Like, I'll put it on Hulu. Fuck it. Like, just get it made. I want to see that Guillermo del Toro behind Monster. That's incredible.
This is the kind, for sure. Like, this is the kind of movie where anybody could watch it and go like, I had no idea that came from an anime. Kind of like Old Boy. I had no idea Old Boy was from a manga. No clue.
That movie's a damn masterpiece, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it would do fantastic.
damn, I'm like,
It's
I'm like hyped and bummed that this is.
Are
a
you
thing.
bummed out that it didn't happen?
Yeah.
my only
I love Del Toro's style, man. He really puts you in that fucking world. Oh, dude.
my only fear with Monster is that it makes sense as like a series of 1 hour, maybe like 12 1-hour episodes, like like you have on Netflix. But
Yeah.
to try to fit it into a movie is a little ambitious. Like there's an
Oh
awful
yeah,
lot
because that
happening.
is a lot. Yeah, because I think it was like 18-ish volumes in the manga, and the series was like what 78 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, but the
It
topic
was
doesn't.
pretty long.
The topic doesn't say it has to be a movie.
Right.
That's true.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say it could still succeed in Hollywood as a series.
yeah, that's true.
So I guess you're well within your right. So good job.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah, dude, that's hype. That's hype as hell.
Way to cover for my mistakes. I like that.
I also think my mom would love that. My mom loves true crime shows, and like we watch them together.
Dude, and
We were watching one last night, actually.
true crime is such like a, for better or worse, a very trendy topic nowadays
Yeah.
with like people in my age group because of podcasting and everything. That
Mhm.
if that came out under Del Toro's name, it would slay. Just like just
think
the
so, yeah.
association to the genre and his name on it, it would be so good, especially on Netflix. I can tell you right now, it would probably succeed.
Yeah.
I,
Plus,
I
it's
think
already-
it would be really good.
It's already written perfectly. It isn't like it'd be a tough job for Del Toro. You're not
Yeah.
gonna have to do much.
Totally.
sure.
And Del Toro he's very good at being very like he picks up nuances and sensitivities really well. So I feel like he would keep a lot of what makes like the subtleties of Monster would totally come through in the series for sure.
Mhm. For sure.
Am I up again?
So now I'm excited, but sad
Ah,
that that's never gonna
I'm
happen.
bummed the fuck out, but yeah, Mitz, it's your turn.
So my last one I have here is Black Lagoon. I think it's very similar to my last pick. Black Lagoon, hot girls, crime, tons of action, guns, violence, killing. For those of you that don't know what Black Lagoon is, another My Anime List synopsis. Within Thailand is Roanapur, a depraved, crime-ridden city where not even the authorities or churches are untouched by the claws of corruption. A haven for convicts and degenerates alike, the city is notorious for being the center of illegal activities and operations, often fueled by local crime syndicates. Enter Rokuro Okajima, an average Japanese businessman who has been living a dull and monotonous life when he finally gets his chance for a change of pace with a delivery trip to Southeast Asia. His business trip swiftly goes downhill as Rokuro is captured by a mercenary group operating in Roanapur called Black Lagoon. So, for those of you that haven't seen Black Lagoon, you have the businessman who I just discussed, who starts out as a bit of a wuss, but kind of comes around by the end of the show. Revi, who is just take the hottest,
coolest dude.
the hottest
The
actress
best.
you can think of, put her in like ass hugging ripped jean shorts because that's what Revi wears, probably a tank top, and give her like giant ass handguns. Like, I mean, come on. You have Jet. You basically have Jet, but his name is Rock. No, what the heck? Rock. Rock's
essentially Jet.
Rock's the nerdy businessman. What's
I think it's a B. Is it a B?
I can't think of the guy's name.
Me neither, but he's cool as hell.
I want to call him Dutch. Is it Dutch?
Yeah, it's Dutchy.
yeah.
Dutchy. Yeah,
Definitely
Dutchy.
Dutch, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Dutch is like this huge black guy. He could probably be played by like The Rock maybe, or
The Rock. I was thinking The Rock too, dude.
Yeah, The Rock or one of those guys from the Expendables probably. But it would just be I mean, in the first episode they ramp a speedboat through a helicopter.
Oh.
I mean, come on.
Oh,
Done.
you know who I want? You know who I want on this, Mitz? And you tell me if I'm way off of this tone, but the directors of John Wick. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that works. Because there's an awful lot of gunfights going on in Black Lagoon, so
Right, that's what or if you want to embrace all of the aspects of Black Lagoon, including like the lighter, jokey side, sometimes you can take the director of the first Deadpool. I think he could do a good job too.
yeah, I could see that for sure. Yeah, and I mean, and since it's an anime title, it might need to have a name behind it to give it some help. So Black Lagoon doesn't need much. Like there are movies that are set in Singapore and Hong Kong. Like we get that. There's been Rush Hour and a lot of kung fu movies and stuff set in those areas, and the United States fairly receptive to, like probably what is the equivalent of Asia's New York and Hong Kong. So, yeah, I think it could be a really good action movie. And we all know that action movies tend to do well. You know, they're not tough to execute. You just need to have the budget and, I don't know, badass scenes.
I don't know what about this idea is like it's really kicking me into super fan casting mode, and I see Terry Crews as Dutch like the chat does.
Yeah, exactly. Terry Crews. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking
that
of.
would be amazing.
Terry Crews is Dutch. I see Angelina Jolie can still be Revy, dude.
It's probably cool.
I think she can still do it.
Yeah.
And I just don't know who Rock would be. We need someone like, oh my god, a young Edward Norton would be such a good Rock.
He would be, but Edward Norton might be too old at this point.
Fight Club.
Rock would be easy to cast, you know. I don't know. So cool. So that's my last suggestion.
Awesome.
Black Lagoon is a
Yeah,
super
that
good
is cool.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more Black Lagoon since the last one came out, but might be done. Okay.
Yeah.
I got one more. Are we okay on time?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
sweet. Okay, cool. So back on the music world, I know that Your Lie in April has a live action or will have a live action. I don't know if it came out already, but just all I'm gonna say is Your Lie in April by the director of The Notebook. Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on.
I haven't seen The Notebook.
Can I give you a sure?
I'm
I
telling
actually
you,
haven't seen it either.
I'm telling you right now, if the man that directed The Notebook can direct Your Lie in April, I think it could probably make people cry worse than the anime did.
Aw.
I'm telling you right now. I think there's a heartbreaker, a heartbreaking gold mine in that idea.
I feel like sad movies don't do well though in Hollywood.
Unless it's The Notebook.
Unless it's The Notebook.
Did The Notebook really do that well?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The Notebook was probably like the most referenced thing in the year it came out. Like
Let's
the
find
amount
out.
of times that movie was referenced in everything.
Let's find
Yeah,
out.
it might not be a financial success, but it was a cultural success for sure.
The Notebook. Yeah, well,
to
it made
say the least.
$115 million on a $29 million budget, which probably makes it successful. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would consider. I mean, like without the numbers, it's definitely a cultural success because everyone in my generation, at least, like referenced The Notebook a million times when it was relevant. I really think that this could work because the Your Lie in April, it like okay, this is a really hot take. You guys ready for this? This
Uh-oh.
is
I'm ready. I'm
a New
prepared.
York hot take. I think Your Lie in April kind of overhyped.
I don't disagree.
Oh!
How dare
I
you?
think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful anime. It did not build a relationship between the main girl, the main guy enough for me to really get me at the core. I think in this movie, if they focus more on making that relationship seem even better and not just a guy that's admiring his manic pixie dream girl, I think that movie works. I think that movie works better.
I think
in
that's
terms of, like, getting
blasphemy, and
emotional.
you should hold your tongue.
I stand by what I said. My name is Denzel. Please don't kill me.
Please don't kill me, Mike.
Please don't kill me. Bye.
All right. So my last one, I put down Steins Gate, but now that I'm thinking about it, I started like thinking up just other possibilities in my head. What about a Quentin Tarantino version of Volcano?
I like that so much. I like that so much better than Steins Gate.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, because I don't think Steins Gate has much of a shot of being a success because it just doesn't feel like something that translates well to a real movie and time travel stuff, and it's such a goofy anime. Like with all the bananas and shit. I just don't like. I don't think any of that's gonna translate. So good call bailing on that. I could see Hollywood trying to do it and failing miserably, like they have with some other shows.
Yeah.
But probably not very safe.
Yeah, because I was thinking it would have to be taken out. I don't think they'd do it in Akiba. And
Definitely.
Yeah,
not.
yeah, I mean, a lot of the characters have to be changed.
and also
Wow.
like
I
Also-
backed on it. I
yeah,
backed
al-
up on it.
also because like the reason Steins Gate works is because the first half of the show is so lazy and whimsical and like not super stress heavy. Because then when shit hits the fan, you realize that none of that time period was actually stress free. It was probably the most stressful time in Okabe's life. So you need that kind of build up to rev up. Well, that's subtle. You need it to be that subtle for that long in a thing for the plot to kick and you'd be like, oh shit, like that's wild. I don't think it'll work in a movie too well.
Yeah. But I mean, Volcano already feels like it could be directed by Quentin Tarantino. I think it would be very hard for him at all.
You're totally right there. Volcano feels exactly like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
So
yeah, I back that idea pretty hard, actually.
I think people would jump on. I think people who had no clues from an anime would go in and watch that too. So
why hasn't I just noticed that Leonardo DiCaprio hasn't made a movie in a while? Is he done? He's only like 38.
Dude, he won the Oscar and took a fucking chill pill.
He's 44, but he hasn't made a movie since 2015. That's so odd.
That is odd.
I mean, he's 44. Like, what are you doing, man? According to this, he's working on other movies, but he hasn't made one in a while. That's strange. Okay.
The chat keeps mentioning Beck, which makes me extremely happy. I thought about putting Beck on here, but
you always put Beck.
Well, I mean, like I do always mention Beck, so I was trying to get out of my like go-to box, but I think Beck is really hard to do because for two reasons. One's like more of a hot take for me, and then another one is just like practicality. Beck also works well because it's able to take its time with the format that it's in currently. And I say that because it goes with my second issue, is because a lot of people don't kind of catch that like Koyuki is like he's like pretty depressed, and not in like the outright sad way, but in the I feel no purpose kind of way. So I'm just drifting along through life. Yeah, and that's really hard to capture in 2 hours. Of course, I'm thinking in movie format. If we gave it a series, and I would go for Beck, but I was really focused on movies. So that's why I didn't say Beck. But Beck, obviously, I want Beck to be made. There's a live action of Beck that I enjoyed, but they made a really powerful choice by choosing that whenever Koyuki sings, you don't hear it. You just see people's reaction to his voice. I see what they went for there. Didn't work for me, so I do want a better live action for the show. But I just personally wanted to go outside my go-to box. I didn't pick Nana. I didn't pick Beck.
Yeah,
so, I would like Beck to be made though.
I was thinking about Beck in terms of movies, and like I don't know. At least in my like, I'm going off of like people that I know who don't know anything about anime, and of course, people who aren't into anime are going to determine whether or not a movie's successful. And so I was thinking, people hate subtitles, don't they?
People do
in movies.
Tend to, yeah.
So I was thinking, because it's so like it has, because it's about Japanese band wanting to make it big in America, I was thinking they'd have to have a significant part of it being subtitled. So do you think that they could completely change that story?
I think it could work where like if it's set here, then the foreigners would be Japanese, and then if they send they would just reverse it. I think Matthew Jones, he's in the chat, and he's saying Jason Reitman because he slayed Juno, and you're not wrong. I think that would be a good fit to handle Koyuki. I just don't know. But you know what? I think Jason Reitman was also a producer for Whiplash, so you know what? He might be the perfect mix of someone that understands subtle, like depression, and also has a good ear for music. So that's not a bad suggestion, Matthew. Like, good. That's a good one. Good shit. But yeah, I think it could work.
Yeah.
Good shit. Yeah.
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 That was fun.
This is a good topic. Who suggested it?
Creampuff.
Creampuff. Good. Thank you, man.
So that just goes to show you when you make topic suggestions on the Discord, Mitsugi does look at that.
He does. He does. He tells us about all of them.
So get your ass over to the Discord. Slackers.
I'm now also very depressed because I want a live action monster so bad.
And if you can't find the Discord button, make sure to ask Kazuo where it is.
Yes.
Because we make him happy.
Email him, tweet at him, find his Instagram,
send letters to his house,
reach out, send letters to his house, ask him where the Discord is. Like, he loves helping people out.
Send carrier pigeons.
Just find a way.
Nobody is more patient with the fans than Kazuo.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
He's happy to help.
All right, so we're gonna take a news break. Who wants to read the second in-show trivia question? This one is very difficult.
I can.
Okay.
Because
Wow,
I love Chobits.
She's excited. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, Chobits is I love Chobits. Anyways, in the anime, Chobits was what was the real name of the Persicum we know as Chi?
Ooh.
Tough question.
Tough
And
question.
Hideki loves underpants.
He does. Underpants, thank you, please. Okay. All right, when we come back, we have 5 impressions. Gura Zeni, Steins Gate 0, Loop on the Third, Part 5, Tadakun Never Falls in Love, and Roku Hyodo Yotsuiro Biyori. So stay tuned, and we're going to come back with all those impressions to wrap up the spring 2018. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere, or Enzo will come to your house and steal all of your underwear.
That's right.
Whoa.
Stay tuned.
All of them.
Hey, all you anime fans, it's me, Tsugi, and it's time for more of your anime news. Leading us off, Sony has announced some of the content that will be at their E3 showcase on June 11th. E3 coming right around the corner about the second week of June. Sony, in a break from tradition, has announced that they will be showing details for Kojima Productions' Death Stranding, Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima, Insomniac Games' Marvel's Spider-Man, Naughty Dog's The Last of Us Part 2, and they're also going to have other announcements from indie and third-party developers. So, pretty good lineup of games. Sony laying it out there for the world to see ahead of E3. So, looking forward to E3 coming up in a few weeks, and hopefully we'll have a lot of new exciting games announced there. Next up, Big Wind-Up, otherwise known as Okiku Furikabute, the baseball manga and anime, is getting another stage play adaptation titled Okiku Furikabute Natsu no Taikai Hen, or the Summer Tournament Arc. It will be playing at the Sunshine Theater in Tokyo from September 6th to September 17th, and at the Umeda Arts Theater in Osaka from September 28th to the 30th. So the play is once again directed by Yutaka Narui, who was involved in prior content for Okiku Furikabute. There was a prior stage play which ran from February 2nd to the 12th at the Sunshine Theater in Tokyo. So lots of content coming out for Big Wind-Up for those of you that are fans of that property. Next up, some very scary news in Japan. Okinawa had a measles outbreak which infected quite a number of people in Okinawa on March 20th, and the infection has since spread to other locations in Japan. There have now been 94 more cases have been logged since the virus had popped up in Okinawa. The government says it plans to ensure that hospitals and nursery schools, that the employees of these facilities get the vaccine for measles, as it is highly contagious. The Health, Labor, and Welfare Ministry plans to urge hospitals to check vaccination records to make sure that their employees do get covered for this. In Japan, infants can get 2 vaccinations for free when they turn 1 year old, and again before entering elementary school. Of course, measles being highly contagious and is one of the leading causes of death among young children. So very important that we take care of this and that they take the infection spread very seriously. Next up and lastly, we have the television rankings. Dragon Ball Super has concluded, so what will fill the spot? Of course, the top 5 being Sazae-san, Doraemon, Shin-chan, Detective Conan, and Chibi Maruko-chan, as is always the case. One Piece also making its normal appearance. However, it looks like the not-so-usual suspects are Gegege no Kitaro, My Hero Academia, and Hugto Precure. So these filling the gap left by Dragon Ball Super being probably My Hero Academia, since it's also a shonen anime. This is Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. Now, time to get back to the podcast.
Hey guys, please go to okay, one more time. Visit jailist.net for oh man, that's not right. I gotta get this hosting down. If only Mitsuki Senpai was here to help.
You called, my dear Kohai?
Senpai, wait, you can teleport?
But of course. Now, do you wish to learn the ways of directing people to countless anime goods?
Yeah, teach me the ways of letting everyone know about the amazing snack selection JList.com has to offer.
Then listen closely, my kohai. Go to jlist.com right now for all of your anime shopping needs and all of your anime snack shopping needs.
Senpai, sugoi.
ザ・アニメアディクツアノニマスポッドキャストプレゼンツカズオ vs ザ・キャットバス
Who do you got for number one?
I have the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro. Shichi Kokoyama Hospital.
Okay.
That's where the cat bus goes. in
Yeah,
fairness.
but like, what are the cat bus's combat abilities?
It has the most powerful headlights in history on its eyeballs. It could blind you drastically with its eyeballs.
That's the
It can
worst.
run. It can run on telephone wires. You know how nimble that is? That agility.
All right,
Such
you know
agility,
what?
such grace. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Does the cat bus not have about 10 legs?
Does it have 10 legs? Yes, true.
Do cats have claws?
Yeah.
How many claws does a cat have on every paw?
Oh, I don't know, like
It's 5.
5? Okay.
That is 50 razor sharp blades coming
But
at you.
look at it.
It's like a bowling ball covered in butcher knives. It's coming at your
First-
ass. Yeah, that cat bus is terrifying. That son of a bitch is coming at you.
It does look terrifying.
It's literally screaming all the time. It would take you to the Shichi Kokoyama Hospital after it beats your ass.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
it
beat your
would.
ass and take you to the hospital.
Yeah.
And now back to the podcast.
And we're back to episode 421 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome back to
back.
the
What a nice-
sweet
what a
tunes
nice
of
break.
Chopin.
What a nice break.
So, we have an in-show trivia question. In the anime Chobits, what was the real name of the Persicon we know as Chi? Does anybody know the answer? Is this difficult?
I do.
I do not.
Did you know this
I do.
without looking?
Yes.
You're a badass.
I've owned my Chobits DVDs since they first came out.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
snap.
too.
OG. Both of y'all.
Underpants, thank you, please.
Underpants, thank you, please. Her real name is Elda.
Elda.
Ella-chan.
Yep.
All right, so we have a 5-star review. We have approximately 1 less review on iTunes than we have episodes of this podcast, which is a huge improvement. Thank you, everybody that has written reviews or
thank
has
you.
clicked the star rater on iTunes. The next goal, the next milestone for us is 500. So, would love to get
that's
to
such a
500.
big number.
I know.
We can do it though.
We're
can do it.
Well, we're like 84% of the way there. Well, actually, exactly 84%. So you can help us get there. We're only 16% of the. We only have 16% left. It's not such a big task. So if you would like to help us out, go to iTunes and either click on the star rater or leave a 5-star review, which will guarantee that we will read your review on the podcast. So who would like to read this review after I play the drop?
I could do this.
Whoops.
It's time for iTunes review.
All right, Mr. Badass, go ahead.
All right, this 5-star review comes from Costa Rica. Costa Rica B?
No me mates.
Costa Rica B.
I was wondering how you say that too.
I should have known. Anyway, the subject says the best! Exclamation mark with 5 stars.
You goddamn right.
That's right. Thank you for such a great podcast show. I have been listening for a little over a year now. Caught up on all of your episodes already. You're one of my favorite podcasts and listen to you every single day at work. All of you have such a great chemistry together and are so entertaining and funny with your talks about anime, stories of Japan, and general conversations. You could seriously talk about anything, and I think it would be entertaining. I also love how you include the audience by reading mailbags and having a listener call in every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
I had one mailbag I submitted right on your show, and I felt like a mini celebrity. I show all my friends and family, and I was really excited about it. Anyways, thank you again, and keep doing what you're doing. Do more drinking episodes. Yes, can we do more drinking episodes? I haven't done one yet.
It'd be kind of weird though, because we're not on camera.
Maybe we'll debut on camera.
Is
on
it just
drinking
be
episode.
drunk and then Mitz on just the camera by himself?
What would happen is that Mitch would get drunk by himself, and then you and me wouldn't say anything. We would just be passed out. It would just be silent.
That would be pretty crazy.
Well, passing out is what used to happen anyway during the drinking episode, so more or less.
Thanks for writing it. That was very sweet of you. I'm glad that we made
Yeah.
you put your mailbag out. I hope you feel special again, and hope work is going pretty okay today.
Are you guys ready to
Thanks.
pound some reviews or impressions?
Let's do this. Do
All right,
this
here
shit.
comes your drop.
Today, we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it!
All right, so I realize we have 2 anime to pass, and I feel like I have no idea what the 2 that are passing will be, which is very
Same.
uncomfortable. So,
It's very weird.
who would like to begin? We're just gonna play this by the seat of our pants.
I can start with Tadakun.
So a couple of these are Kazuo's. I'm hoping you guys have watched what he was supposed to cover. So
Yeah, I
has
think
one,
he has Lupin. He has Lupin,
Yeah.
which I think I've seen a bit, and Mandy, you've seen a bit, right?
Yeah, I've seen the first 3. That's all I've watched so far.
that's all
Okay.
you need.
That's all you need.
All right,
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
I will start. And I will start by talking about Tadakun Never Falls in Love. So, just quickly, a synopsis on my anime list says, in this story, Mitsuyoshi Tada, a boy who has never known love, is taking pictures of cherry blossoms in full bloom when he meets Teresa Wagner, a transfer student from Luxembourg. Upon arriving in Japan, she got
Luxembourg?
lost. Yep, she got lost, separated from her travel companion, and Mitsuyoshi helps her out and brings her to his grandfather's coffee shop. So that, based on, it's funny because earlier today you guys gave me context about why I would pick this. It just sounds cute, right? It sounds cute. Like, he's never fallen in love. He takes a picture of a cute girl by accident. He helps her out, ends up hanging out with her at his grandfather's coffee shop. That's like my vibe. And the first episode didn't fail. Like, the first episode definitely delivered on that, on top of really pretty animation, good choice of like background music, and as well as a really nice. Actually, I don't know if it played in the first episode, but the OP for this anime is very cute and very fun. Kind of reminds me of like the working openings. That they're very fun and.
It's by the guy who did the opening for Nozaki-kun.
Oh, that makes.
It
Total
sounds
sense.
almost exactly the same.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, we talked about. Yeah.
So it's
Exactly,
full.
so, like-
So this anime is full of cock teasing bastards. Got it.
Oh my God, no, I'm not going into that. Anyway, and yeah, so the first episode delivers on superficially, it checked all the boxes, and story-wise, it gave me the dynamic between Tada and Teresa is actually pretty nice. Like, she's not overbearing. She's like very clumsy, but not in like a super annoying way at all. In a very believable way as being a foreigner in Japan. And he's not the type of person who's like, oh my God, she's beautiful, I'm falling all over like the floor for her. He's actually just a guy that helps her out, and he just wants to help.
Because he never
So-
falls in love.
Because he never falls in love. Ding, ding,
This
get
is a
it?
heartless bastard. High and
But,
plastered. My
so-
style is like the reaction from too much acid.
There you go.
There you go. That's exactly what this anime is about right there. But yeah, so their dynamic was very attractive to me. His best friend, who is, I think his name is Kaoru. Yeah, Kaoru. He's great. I love his I love his voice and his inflection.
It's
that he uses.
Mamoru, of
It's
course.
Mamoru? Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So he was great. I love his introduction, and yeah. So all the characters work. It seemed the first episode made me have those cozy feelings that I really crave from slice of life kind of romancy anime. So
Mhm.
big check on the first episode. But then, like, unfortunately though, like, I don't know. Other people told me that episodes 2 and 3 is where the anime picks up. Like it takes a dip on 2 and it comes back up at 3. But episode 2, I don't know what it was. Like, I was so excited to watch it, but as the episode kept going, I kept getting more disinterested to the point where like
Mhm.
I was even checking my phone for like I was just checking
Uh-oh.
like I and that's a sign that because like I'm very good about like if I'm trying to watch something, especially if I'm excited to watch it, I don't look at my phone. That's why I'm bad at texting, because I'm always watching shit or trying stuff, and I'm really good about not paying attention on my phone. But I found myself looking at my phone, and all of a sudden episode 2 was over, and then I was like, I don't even want to go back and watch it. Like, not really. So I go to episode 3, And then episode 3, people are like, "Oh, it gets better." Episode 3, I'm like, okay, I trust the people in the Discord. Like we all have pretty good taste. We all cover all the bases on the Discord. So I'm like, cool. My slice of life people are telling me it gets good at episode 3, but they make a choice on episode 3 to tell the episode through the cat's perspective, which could be cool, but I don't think they executed that well for me. I mean, the cat's really cute. What's his name? Nyanko Big. So I forgot what's.
I don't remember.
I
watched the first
Sounds like a
episodes.
rapper name.
Yeah. And like I mean, I thought it was cute. I think they gave him like a really badass warrior man voice. But it didn't do it for me. So there's like a huge siren in the background right now. It's like, no, don't fail it. The hospital sirens right now are for Tadakun because, unfortunately, and this is a bummer because I was really excited about this anime, I'm gonna have to fail it. It just didn't do it for me in the first 3 episodes.
I definitely 100% agree with you. Like, I loved the first episode, and the second one, I didn't like the second one.
Yeah, it just bored me, which sucks, dude. It really sucks. I was hoping to pass this one. But,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
I was the same as you. Halfway through that episode, I was like, not paying attention.
Yeah, it was just a bummer. Like that's like the worst thing you could do for me. Like to lose yourself so much where I stop paying attention. So
Yeah, the first episode made me laugh a lot. Though.
Here comes your drop.
I'm too old for this shit.
Opie, I think I'm getting too old for this stuff.
I'm too old for this shit.
I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old for this shit.
Will you follow me again?
I'm getting too old for this shit.
I also found myself checking my phone during an anime a couple of days ago that you might not expect I was checking my phone during.
Yeah. Doesn't it feel weird when you realize like, oh shit, like I'm so disinterested that I'm looking at my phone?
Do you want to know what anime that was?
Oh geez, what was it?
Megalobox.
Oh really? Oh shit. I haven't gotten to that episode then. So far I think I'm on episode 3, 4? And it's really
I've
great.
watched 3. I need to keep going.
The
I've just been busy.
anime, let's just say the first 3 episodes were its best foot.
Oh shit.
no.
All right. I look forward to it though.
All right, next
All right,
up.
who's next?
Do you want me to do Rakuhodo?
It shouldn't be me because I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's gonna be interesting for us to get through Lupin.
I'm sort of hoping that the decision gets made for me across the course of these 5 impressions. So whichever one you want to do, just go for it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and do Rakuhodo Yotsurio Biori.
Biori.
In this anime, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I love this anime so much. I knew from watching it, it was gonna be
fun.
for me.
It's totally fun. I actually really love the first.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, of course I watched it. I try these shows out, dude.
So you watched the first episode?
He
Yeah.
messes with you.
I fucks with you, dude.
All right, so this show is about 4 men who just run a tea shop named Rakuhodo.
That's so.
Oh, this just stinks of bishies. Oh my god. 4 men running a tea shop. Has there ever been a more anime synopsis ever?
Bishi.
Dude, they're hot. They're hot as fuck, man.
But here's the thing, and this is what I love about it. They don't acknowledge it. Like, they are definitely cute and to bring in, like, the girls, but the show is never, like, there's not, like, crowds of girls fawning over them. Hardly anybody notices or recognizes that they're hot, except one girl in the first episode. There's
name's
one guy...
Mandy.
Yes, it's me. One of the guys who's in charge of, like, the lattes, he does latte art, but he's really bad at it. So he tried to make a bunny for her, and it looks like this just monstrosity. And she looks at it, she goes, "Guess they make money off the hot guys." That's the only time they ever acknowledge it. Like, because, like, their clientele are, like, old people. They have guys that come in there. They do have a group of girls, but nobody.
Right.
It's never like it's not like an idol sort of show where the girls are like fawning over them.
That's
which I really
refreshing,
appreciate
honestly.
it. I loved
Yeah,
it.
Totally
It's
refreshing.
actually far more about the food and about helping people through like their shop. But the first episode was about this woman who is a businesswoman. She is looking for somewhere to just relax, and she stumbles across their tea shop. She sits down, and she finds the atmosphere so calming and relaxing, and that she's able to solve the problems that she has with work. And then she, at the very end, she was talking to them. She's like, I was trying so hard. I was trying too hard. I couldn't find this problem, but the answer to this problem. But your calming like shop and the food that you gave me, because they gave her like this dish that's like, it's supposed to be like a comfort food. It's like when you put like shoot, what is it called? Where it's like fish but with green tea on. They pour green tea over top of it.
I have never heard of that.
Like ozake or something like that, okazake, something like that. But it's supposed to be a comfort food, and they serve that to her because they can tell that like she's there every day, sitting in a corner, like just stressing out over her computer. So they're always like bringing her food. But so, and then she's like, I've learned from coming here that when I come here, I'm gonna relax. I'm not gonna worry about work, like stress out so much. So there was that one. And the second episode was about an old man who runs like a tea shop, but he sells like loose tea, and people aren't buying it anymore because they're just buying tea bags.
Right.
So he wants to close his shop, and they the whole episode is them convincing him not to, because they're going to start buying tea from him and use it in their tea, and use it in like their food, and like make sweets out of it and stuff. So they helped him keep his business open, and that's how the show goes. And I love it. It has a little bit of comedy, but not so much that it's like overbearing and ridiculous. There's one guy who's obsessed with cats. Like when there's like I think it's episode 4, they find a kitten, and the whole episode is them trying to find the kitten's owner. But he's like he's like, oh, I guess we're gonna have to take care of it till we find its owner. And the other guy's like, your expression doesn't match what you're saying, because he has like this huge smile on his face. But yeah, so I love it. This is actually one that I've been watching like as soon as it airs every week. But yeah, there's what was that?
This season sucks so bad.
This season sucks, dude. This is tough to hear Mandy just like ooze over it, and then like
and then say but
but it's failing.
I told you I was gonna be 100% honest that I love this show, but I cannot imagine like passing this over something like Legend of Galactic Heroes or something. I think people would riot over me. So yeah, I am gonna fail it. But if you do like Iyashike, like comfort anime, definitely check it out because it's super great and fun. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Damn.
I told you, I was like, man, I like almost all of my shows. It's really hard.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because at this current moment, the world still hates Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I'm such a genius. I made that.
7 isn't hate. Hate is like
a 3, dude.
Yeah.
No,
7 means that it's good.
Let me tell you something. There are literally no anime on my anime list with a 3.
Oh,
if you were to do a normal distribution of anime scores on my anime list, like AKA the bell curve, right? Like guaranteed that the average is something like a 7.2. I mean,
well, it's not over yet.
Just look at the scores of any season. Like 90% of the shows fall within a 7, fall between a 7 and an 8. So, anyway, not to get back down that rabbit hole, but I'm totally winning that. The second bet from this season, which I will use to hedge the potential loss of my first bet. It's feeling pretty good right now.
Good.
Who wants to go? I still don't want to go.
Mandy, do you want to do Lupin with me?
I can try.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen less than you, but all I can say is from watching almost 2 episodes, this show's fucking sick.
It's really good.
This show's fucking good. The animation is beautiful. Like
it is
beautiful.
beautiful.
It is beautiful as hell, and Lupin still got it. Like it's still it's still sleek. It's still fun.
I really like how. Fun. Oh yeah, the music, especially the ending. I love the ending.
Music is so good. Like
so good.
Fuck. So good.
I also like that they're combating like modern day, the internet basically,
Yeah,
and social
totally.
media.
It's a theme. It's a theme I didn't think would be the theme for the next
Right?
Lupin.
Yeah.
But it's cool that of all the series to reach out as an internet as like the internet being a vessel for evil, it would be Lupin. That's so interesting because Lupin is not necessarily super tech heavy.
Yeah.
So it's cool that he's the guy that's gonna battle this. So,
yeah, and they
it's
introduce
cool.
a
That's cool.
character, like a new girl, Ami. She's kind of like their window into the new world of the net, because she has like this earpiece, and that responds to like voice commands, and she's a super like computer whiz, and so they're new to the idea of social media. Like, well, we can't hide now because the entire world knows where we're at.
Right. Yeah.
So like. She's definitely helping them out in this like new like modern day technology problem.
Yeah. So I mean, I know Lupin deserves much more like words to be said, but it wasn't us. Kazuo took taking some time off, and it's his show. But
I didn't have like a prep. I didn't prepare like anything.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it since 3 episodes, and
It's still the same Lupin though. It sounds a little more high tech than usual.
Dude, but okay, obviously I'm only like 1.75 episodes in, but like it feels so sleek. Like it feels so good to watch the show. For real.
With
like
probably
I think
nobody watching
you'd
it, though.
agree if you watched it, dude, for sure. So I mean, I don't know if are we gonna vote on this? I
have no idea.
Oh my god.
You know what's amazing is that literally no one is watching this.
Which is crazy. I'm not watching because my life is literally insane. But if you have time to watch anime, dude, like I never push an anime on people, but like watch this, appreciate this one. Like this one is so pretty. It's so good to look at.
For sure. And you don't have to know anything about Lupin. You can jump into this one.
Let me just just to give you an idea. Has any anime from the past ever been more desperately clinging to past glories than Cutie Honey?
What?
I like that silence though.
Exactly. Cutie
like,
Honey.
What?
Cutie Honey is an old anime that came out like, decades ago. And there's a new anime called Cutie Honey Universe, which you're like, what is that? That's an anime from the season that we could have done impressions on. That has more viewers than Lupin.
Wow. I wonder why that is, considering how like at least the West loves like the sleek Western outlaw vibe, and that they won't watch Lupin. Well, you know what? That kind of maybe that makes sense because maybe but is Japan now watching Lupin? Like
Japan
that
is
sounds
definitely
so...
watching it. Lupin is
okay.
Lupin is
then it is weird to me that the West is not enjoying Lupin because it gives us more Western subtle vibes than mostly anything else right now, and it's just sleek. It's so cool. It's cool in the old school word cool. Like it's cool. Yeah. So I'm like, that's weird to me. But
the ending's super sexy too.
Okay, I'll just to save time on a topic that we're not fully like well versed in. I think this show should pass.
Yeah, I think
Kazuo also wants it to pass too.
I think if we fail it, the listener choice will not save it because nobody is watching it. So
this should pass. We should watch this as a podcast.
I've never been happier. Let me play the pass drop.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, and boom goes the dynamite.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good to know when we got some Lupin in our lives. So, I mean, honestly, as long as Lupin continues to be friggin' incredible, then it's just gonna keep we're just gonna keep covering it because the last season of Lupin was like mind blowing. It was so good, and this season sounds like it's more just as amazing as the last. So keep it coming like that, and we're gonna keep watching it. So
yeah,
I don't really
care. This was good, man. If you haven't started, man, I think you should just take a peek. Just take a peek. It's good, man.
You don't have to convince me. I mean, I don't really care that the anime community is not watching it because they don't like watching good anime. I'd rather spicy. I'd rather cover the things that should be covered. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I do not understand how no one's watching this.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's one anime in this season that is representative of anime, it's Lupin. So, I mean, it's more representative of anime than anything else on this list. So people should be watching it, especially if it looks so good. So
yeah, it's really pretty. Like that's what blew me away. Like the second I hit play, I was like, whoa. This is like next level quality for a series. Like that's really pretty. The colors are pop really really hard.
For sure.
So
do you still not want to go next, Mitz?
We're down to 2. You know, it is what it is. I'll just go. It's fine. I surrender.
Okay.
I'm doing Gura Zeni, which is a baseball anime. Gura Zeni is literally a show that, quite honestly, no one on planet Earth is watching. It is only beating like 3 other shows this season, and they're mostly like shit that I have no idea what it is. So, Gura Zeni is a baseball anime done by Studio Dean that has a shockingly low score on my anime list of a 5.7, which is just proves to me that like anime viewers don't get sports. Like they just don't. Because this show doesn't feel like a 5.7 to me at all. It feels every bit as good as Golden Kamuy was. And that show has like an 8. So like I don't really get it. But like, Enzo, did you watch the anime Moneyball?
I did watch Moneyball.
Or the movie Moneyball?
Yeah, the movie. I did watch the movie Moneyball. Yeah.
All right, so because I'm pretty sure that this anime's title means Moneyball. So it's,
really?
It's very similar to Moneyball in that it is a baseball show, but it's very much taken from the perspective of a professional. So like there's an episode, the first episode, the main character whose name is Bonda. He's a middle reliever. He's not even like the ace or whatever. It's not even some like cliche.
Okay.
The first episode is talking about things like how a professional athlete's career is really short, and so they have to make the money that a normal person would make in 30 years in like only like 4 or 5 years because their careers are short. And it discusses all the salary and the ranges of salary and how he knows the salary of every player in the league. And how like he'll be pitching and he'll be like, I'm pitching against a guy that's got a, some really low salary because it's J League baseball, but who like I'm pitching against some guy that makes $1 million a year and I only make $180K. But I'm a right-handed pitcher and he's it just goes into like this like the professional aspect of sports and how like and it looks at it from that perspective. The second episode talks about the life of baseball players after they retire and how his friends like an announcer, and the announcer is like going out to have drinks with his old friends who still play in the league because he wants to get like inside info on what's going on so he can like do a better job as an announcer.
That happens for sure. There's
an episode where like where they talk about this player who broke the home run record, but he got hit by Bonda. Bonda hit his hand with a pitch and hasn't like quite been the same since. And so like even though he hit like 50 home runs last year, he's like in a slump right now. And so, but then they show the managers and the managers are like, oh yeah, he's in a slump, but he's the face of the team, and we need to give him a chance to work his way through the slump, so like they don't take him out, and he ends up hitting a home run. Like they go into like that aspect of it. They talk about the yips. They talk about they have like scenes where with the managers and like the ownership talking about like which players they should trade and how much money they should negotiate for their salaries.
Yeah.
Like
so you're getting like the insider business perspective of this shit.
Exactly. So it's not the reason why I think anime fans aren't liking this is because we expect anime to be we expect sports anime to be like, oh, here are the pretty boys, and we're gonna get into like it's more about the characters than the sports. Like,
I don't disagree. Like, I mean, I think in a more general sense, it's not even pretty boys. I think it's just leaning harder into the shonen aspect of sports.
Well, they always seem to be pretty boys, though. In fairness.
Well, yeah, I mean it helps, but it's more leaning towards like the shonen action-packed cliffhanger type movement of action in sports.
So, like, I think people like Haikyuu, for example, because of the characters. It's not really about volleyball. No one cares. Anybody who doesn't even understand the rules of volleyball who watches Haikyuu and suddenly says, oh, I love Haikyuu because I love volleyball. Like, that's not true. You might like volleyball more because you watched Haikyuu, but if you didn't like volleyball to start with, Haikyuu didn't create that for you. You're watching Haikyuu for the characters.
It's a cast. It's the cast. Yeah, the
exactly.
Cast. Yeah.
And so this anime is actually about sports. It's not about some pretty boy baseball players, you know, like the way that Major is, or the way that like Big Windup is about these like high school boys. This is about a 30-year-old dude who's like, and they're diving into like the deep recesses of the management of a sport. And like anime fans just don't get it, because like in order to get it and appreciate it, you have to actually be a sports fan. You can't just be like a sports fan who doesn't like sports, but suddenly they like it when they watch anime, which is a lot of people.
I kind of see your point, because it's like if like I don't know, like if I was telling someone about the inner workings of a guitar, they don't give a shit about guitar or music.
They might like they might like you know, Elton, like Eric Clapton or something, but like they don't care about how a guitar's made. Like, you know, they're not into like the deep areas of it. I don't know. Like Kazuo likes Haikyuu, but if you were to show Kazuo a sports anime that's actually about the technique of spiking of volleyball, I think he'd be bored as hell, right? But this show, Good as Any, is more like, you know, talking about players getting sent back to the minors, and how the pitcher has to overcome his psychological problems, where when he's pitching to a batter who makes like, you know, tons more money than he does, he tends to perform poorly. But if it's a player that makes less money than him, he psychologically tends to pitch better because he thinks he can just dominate this player. So like, there's a lot of aspects of it that you don't really expect. So, but my dilemma is that I have wanted to pass every single show pretty much I've done impressions on, and
this season fucking
and I gave up Captain Tsubasa last week because I wanted to pass Good as Any, and now I have to fail Good as Any too, because if I pass Good as Any, Steins Gate has to fail, and that would be like preposterous to most people. So I'm gonna go ahead and just be a martyr. I'm gonna say Good as Any is a quite good anime that most people will hate, because unless you're an actual sports fan, you won't get it. And that's why it has a whopping 5,000 people watching it. Like My Hero Academia has like 300,000 people watching it, but Good as Any has 5,000.
Oh,
you know, like, give me a break.
Small sample. Oh god.
I mean, and like, you know, it has a 5.6, which is about as bad as like a Boku no. You know what? Let's just look. I bet you this show might have a lower score than Boku no Pico.
No way, dude.
It might really, seriously. I swear to God, it might. Boku no.
Oh my god.
Can I even find that on here?
Yeah, it's
Boku no Pico has about a 5.
Oh, that's so sad.
Which is about as low as it's gonna go, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's try one more. How about what was the anime called where the little girl kept eating her brother?
What?
Oh, what was that?
Oh man.
Little girl kept eating her brother?
Yeah.
Not Fortress. What was it?
Yeah, she kept going, "Oni-chan." She would just eat him.
Shoot, what was it? Oh, it's gonna bug me. I gotta look it up now.
Know. The chat should know the answer to that. But this is probably the lowest scored show of the season. It's got a 5.7.
Pupa.
All right, Pupa. Let's see here. Pupa. What is Pupa? Because Pupa is really a bad show. Okay, thank God. Pupa has a 3.7.
Okay.
That is really
There's
a
hope
terrible
in the
anime.
world. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. So
was your heart racing? Because I was kind of worried for a second.
I mean, Pupa, that anime does suck. It is terrible.
Yeah.
So I have to fail Good as Any. I really think it's good. Like, I'm gonna keep watching it. I mean, I can make arguments for why it's just as good as Megalobox, to be honest. But mostly because I think Megalobox is gonna shit the bed and have a terrible ending. But
I'm afraid of this happening too.
Yeah, because they're on episode 7 now and haven't done not a whole lot. So I'm gonna have to fail this. I think it's really good. If you like sports, you're almost guaranteed to like it. So I need a good fail drop here. Let's see. This is good.
That is one big pile of shit.
So I have now failed pretty much everything I wanted to pass. But at least Full Metal Panic made it.
Yeah. Oh man, this
season sucks.
I really hope that this never happens again.
Could you guys stop making good anime, please?
Cause like Mitz got so limited. Mandy had to fail shows she liked. Kazuo did too. Oh god.
I love my show.
No, actually, Kazuo pretty much passed everything he wanted.
Did he get the block?
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
You see, Mandy, what happened here is that Kazuo and Enzo hogged all the picks.
Oh,
And we
no.
ended up failing
No,
everything we loved. Because I passed 1, you passed 3, Kazuo passed 3, and Mandy passed 1.
Enzo came out of nowhere with Wotakoi because I thought for sure we were failing.
Someone didn't even update the doc, and there's this very conspicuous 3.5 sitting on the document that probably is a fail, but
that's on me. That's on me.
So,
not that I don't like Wotakoi.
This is frustrating me. So, Enzo, we're gonna update the score of Wotakoi right now. What would you like the actual score to be?
I think up until episode 3, I think it's a 4.
All right, now I'm changing it to a 4 for you. There you go.
Yeah, thank you.
Now it bothers me a little less.
I'm glad I could appease the Pope a little bit.
All right, so we all know what the last one's passing, but we might as well just jump into it.
All right, so I will now be talking about Steins Gate Zero.
Oh, and I want to say real quick, while I think that Steins Gate Zero probably would have won the listener choice, I am going to ask people. No, I shouldn't ask people to vote for Good as Any. They won't vote for it anyway. Forget it. I take it back.
I think listener choice might be the most interesting it's been in a long time this season.
I have an idea of what might pass, but I'll get to that after.
I think it's going to be very divided. Yeah, we can talk about it after. All right.
Yeah. That actually would be kind of fun to talk about. But okay, yeah. So Steins Gate Zero. I'm pretty sure that everyone out there that has tried anime at some point in a serious way to be into anime has heard of Steins Gate, the property. I personally love the first Steins Gate. Some people don't get it, which I don't understand, but I don't think it's that difficult to get it.
I'm not a huge fan of it, but
no, and that's fine. But like, I just get confused when people get it.
I'm with you.
Know. Yeah, but yeah. So I love the first series. I never wanted a sequel, but because we got one, I was like, I have to pick it. And I was surprised. I guess you don't. I guess now that makes sense because you don't like it too much, and Kazuo does not like Steins Gate at all. So it was basically, Mandy, were you even interested in Steins Gate Zero? I forget.
Yeah, I originally put it on my list, and I saw you put it up really high, so I was like, well, he probably wants it, so I bumped it down.
Okay.
But
so...
I liked the first Steins Gate.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode of this one. I thought it was alright.
So I'll just read the synopsis really quick about like what the sequel. Actually, I won't because it's like really long, necessary. So, basically, Steins Gate Zero takes place pretty much right after the events. Like straight up, like boom, we're back in it. Like, and I really like that because, well, actually, no, that scares me usually because I'm always afraid that the writers and directors won't capture the tone of the original. But this felt like as if I just hit play after the last episode of Steins Gate immediately. Like it feels like the next episode just started.
Mm-hmm.
And so Okabe currently finds himself in college, and the cool thing that they're tackling right now is that he's suffering through trauma of failing to save Kurisu. And I didn't think they would go that way, but I think it's really cool that they did, that they're tackling this mental block that he's having. So he's trying to shed off this, like, his whole like alter ego that he's been very proud of in the past, the Honin Kyoma. He's trying to like shed that alter ego. He's trying to just be Okabe. He's in college. He goes out to mixers to meet people. He drinks with friends. Total normie, and he barely hangs out with his friends from the original series. And something that's interesting that they say is that he hasn't gone back to the lab since the events of Steins Gate, which I think is so crazy because that lab was such a huge part of the story and part of his character. But it makes sense since he's traumatized from losing Kurisu, and that he's dealing with shedding off that past and that alter ego. Mm-hmm. So I really think that the first episode did a beautiful job of being like, hey, dude, we're back in it. Here's the context. And here's a character that's suffering because of his past. Like, he made a sacrifice, and he hasn't forgotten because he's aware of the timeline. And he is suffering through this mental block from
PTSD.
this trauma. He's PTSD. Thank you. That's what I was trying to get to. Yeah. it's very visible PTSD, and it's visible when oh my god, what's the what's her name? Mayuri? Yeah. Yeah. I forgot her name.
Does she still do that?
Yeah, you got it right, Mayuri.
I don't think she has yet into the show. Actually,
I think she did.
Interesting.
I think she did first episode.
Oh, I guess I don't remember it, but yeah. So, and I like that even if it's Mayuri being like, "Hey, Okabe, let's go back to the lab. Everyone's there," and he's like, his face is very visible. He's just like, "No, like I can't, I can't go back there. Like it's not a good place for me." And that was cool. I didn't think they would go this way. They did, which is awesome. And then episode 2, episode 1 ends with him going to a conference about like time travel, or no, just a science conference that as a college student he's going to. And then at this conference, I'm just gonna talk about the overall episodes 1 through 3 arc. I'm not gonna split it up between the episodes.
Go for it.
Yeah. So he goes to this conference. He meets the scientist that was a partner of Kurisu back at her college, and they start talking. And she's like, "Oh, wait, you knew Kurisu? That's crazy. Like, let's talk." So they're talking about her, and he's like having a good time reminiscing with her about Kurisu's habits and everything. And then she's like, "Hey, by the way, like we're working on this thing that Kurisu was working with me on, an AI that can store human memory." And he's like, "Oh, that's really cool." And they're like, "Yeah, if you want to come test it out, like come test it out." And but the reason he says yes is because she says, "Yeah, the AI we have, I forgot what the name of it is. They call it something else, but it's an AI formed from the memories of Kurisu." So, and yeah, that freaks him out. He's just like, no.
Is there a particular reason for that, or is that just coincidental?
Well, I think it's because she was the scientist that was heading the project with this girl. So when she passed, which is something they revealed to Okabe also. I almost said Spanish también. Anyway, I don't know why, but they informed me that she passed, and that's why they're using her memories, because she was the one working on the project. So she, like, it just made sense to do that. So he's like, "Oh shit, you know what? Like, fuck it. Like, I'll go and check this out." So he goes to the lab. They walk him through everything, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Okay, go," and boom! All of a sudden, Kurisu pops up on the computer screen, and he is like, you can see through his face, like a million emotions go through his face. He's just like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! This is like too real," and couldn't handle it. And he was like, and then it was cool. It was cool that whenever Kurisu would say something, because in this timeline they don't really know each other, so but he knows it, but he remembers everything because that's the ending of Steins Gate. He sacrifices the timeline where they meet for her to be safe, but she dies anyway, unfortunately. And every time she says something, he would respond the way they used to talk, and she'd be like, "What the fuck? Why are you talking to me that way?" And he's just like, "Oh, like because whatever." And I thought that was really cool, and I've watching a little bit more than the 3 episodes that are out right now, and it's really cool. I think it's really, really cool that they're taking this like trauma turn for Okabe, that he's like shedding his old persona, which was such a huge part of his character. And yeah, so now he's dealing with the fact that he can talk to his old love that doesn't know him, but he knows her very well. So it's a really interesting, kind of trippy sci-fi approach to the show, and I really, really like it. I don't know, Manny, what do you think based on the first episode?
The first episode, I thought it was really good. I like you said, I like the fact that he's going through PTSD now. I think that's very interesting, and trying to get back into it, basically. I thought that was very.
I also like that when he did eventually get the courage to go back to the lab, everything was just so like the way it was in the first season. It felt so good. It's so really good to see all those characters kind of like be consistent in a consistent way too. So with how good of a direction this is for me, it's very interesting.
I can't believe it.
I love it.
Now we only have 7 anime.
Guess we gotta pass Horse Girls.
Which might be the listener choice, by the way.
Yeah, so with how good they brought it back with such a consistent tone, it feels like it didn't ever stop for the last many years, actually. I'm very happy with the way it came back. I love the direction they chose. I'm really just interested to see how it plays out at all. So I'm super happy to pass Steins Gate Zero for this season.
Yeah.
All right. So was there a discussion to be had regarding what the listener choice might be? Anybody have a prediction?
There was one that I wanted to mention because there was an anime that was my backup, and I super regret not moving it up in my list, and I feel really bad, and I want to apologize to people because when I first watched the PV for Hinamatsuri, I've never read the manga, and I thought it looked ridiculous. I was like, this looks silly. I'm gonna put it on my list. I've been watching Hinamatsuri, and it's really good. And I really regret, and it seems like everybody who's watching it loves it, and I really regret not moving it up my list. So I'm hoping that will win the listener choice.
Okay, no lobbying.
I actually have no idea. I'm like really stuck on the couple that are left. I'm more in line with what I know. I hope doesn't pass, but I'm not gonna mention those just because I don't want to lobby against them. But honestly, I'm just interested to see what the listeners pick because there are so many different kinds of options left over. They're pretty good still. So yeah, so bring it.
I mean, you pretty much just have to look at the list of how frequently watched the shows are and look at the ones we like. What is the most frequent show, the most frequently watched show that we failed, and just going down the list. And the most frequently watched one that we failed is Persona 5. So it's really the only one that has an audience of any kind of size that we failed. So that one has a really good shot of making it. After that, the next one that we failed is Golden Kamuy. That one doesn't have. I feel like that one doesn't have much of a shot actually.
Yeah.
So if I had to guess, I'm gonna guess it's either gonna be Persona 5 or it'll be the damn horse girl show just to troll us.
Well, don't say that. Now they will.
Well, I expect it anyway.
Actually, I do see a lot of people on our Discord saying Hinamatsuri is like one of their favorites of the season.
Yeah, I've seen that conversation too.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. I'm genuinely interested because the season was so hard for us. Trust me, our host group chat was a lot of like, no, but this, no, but that, no, but this, no, but that. Like this was hard for us. So I'm sorry to all the people out there that liked shows that we failed, but shit was tough.
Doesn't mean it's bad though.
Tough tootsies.
Yeah, tough. It's just tough luck this season, dudes. Yeah.
All right, so we have now passed our 8 shows, and they are Megalobox, My Hero Academia Season 3, Full Metal Panic: Invisible Victory, Hisone to Masotan, Wotakoi, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Lupin the Third Part 5, and Steins Gate Zero. So we pretty much covered most of the blockbusters, and with a couple extras. So, all right, mailbags.
Mailbags.
Do it.
All right, who wants to read the first mailbag? If you want to, by the way, if you want to leave a mailbag, you can do it on our website, www.AAAPodcast.com, and at the top there's a bar that has most of the navigation that you need. There's a mailbag button that takes you to that will let you submit mailbags, and right next to that you can join our Discord and also join the AAA podcast so you can get all of our exclusive podcast content that no one else gets to hear except the special people. So, who would like to go first with the first mailbag?
I can read it.
Oh, she's so excited.
Yeah. I'm just excited to be here.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
This is from Repentant Reprise. Hello. What is the most painful character death in anime you've experienced? For me, there was a character who died from cancer. I bawled my eyes out. Thought about the character and impact of her death on everyone for days. It also helped me to realize that if someone I love or care about develops cancer, that they tell me, wait, what? Realize that. It also helped me realize that if somebody I love or care about develops cancer, that they tell me. It was the most painful thing to watch this person keep this information from her loved ones, only for the inevitable death to come away anyway and cause more pain because of perceived mistrust. Sorry, I screwed up that reading. But
no, you're good. You're good.
My first one was super basic, and it was Otonashi from Angel Beats because it actually made me cry because it was so sad to me that the Oh, I guess we're gonna have to put up spoiler alerts for these anyways. Not that that one matters, everyone knows. But
well,
just because the rescue team came like literally minutes before, like after he died. If he just held on just a little bit longer, he would have been fine. And it made me so sad when I cried on that one.
I remember that actually.
There was actually another one that was super personal, and I might get a groan for this one, but it was character Yuki Kono from the Mother's Rosario arc in Sword Art Online. That one hit me in a really personal way because I'm not a massive Sword Art Online fan. I think most of it's okay. There are some arcs that I really hated. I really did not like the movie. But this arc really hit me hard because it's about, and big spoiler alert for this one, it's about a group of terminally ill patients who are being held in medically induced comas, but they have the gear on because the hospital hopes that keeping their mind active will help their recovery. And it's this girl who in this arc barely had Kirito in it at all. It was mostly this girl named Yuki and meets Asuna, and her dream is to get a realm first kill on a boss with her guild.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting emotional talking about it because like I'm having flashbacks, but it hit me really hard. But she wants to get a realm first kill on a boss so that her name and her guild's name are up on this monument forever, and she'll have her like a mark that proves her existence. And she does get the kill, and she does unfortunately pass away in Asuna's arms, but she's surrounded by all of these, like her guild mates, and she's surrounded by these people who came to see her off, and it was just so emotional for me because I could definitely see like VR like being used for medical purposes and
For like
that
therapeutic,
one,
yeah.
Oof, that one hit me so hard in a personal way. But yeah, I just love that she got to make her mark on the world. And yeah, anyways, that was mine.
For me, it's probably, other than the obvious things like Grave of the Fireflies, etc., it's probably Nagisa from Clannad. That was a pretty tough death.
Yeah, it's always gonna be tough.
Yeah. And yeah, there are lots of other ones, but I mean, I don't need to say them all. You know, it's not necessary.
I have one. It's a very recent anime. It's from The Great Passage, Fune wo Amu. It's when, well, I don't want to, whatever, spoilers.
Spoilers are coming.
Spoilers are coming. It's when Matsumoto-san dies. He was like the boss.
Oh my
of the
god,
office.
spoilers.
Oh my god, you ruined everything.
God, I hate you. I'm never listening to this podcast again. You suck.
It's when whatever, this anime is so overlooked. It's ridiculous. I hate that no one watched this anime. It's so beautifully fucking made. Anyway, when he passed away, it hit me super fucking hard. But it was beautiful to see the surrounding characters recover and succeed.
People can't watch shows like this. They're too busy watching Food Wars.
I'm sorry, what was it called again? I missed it. I'm so sorry.
In English, it's called The Great Passage, but the Japanese name is Fune wo.
It's the show about the people that make in the dictionary.
Dictionary?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
dictionary one.
No, I know what we're talking about. I'm so sorry.
I think Chiaki really loved it, which I totally I totally see.
I watched the first episode and then I just got busy and forgot about it, and I feel really bad.
So are there not enough titties in this one? I couldn't watch it.
Oh my god. The voice of the anime community, everyone. Who's next?
The next mailbag?
Yeah.
Cody Vegeta writes, it's award season, so I wanted to ask, do the winners of awards make you likely to try out an anime? Whether it is a Japanese award winner or a winner from the good old US, have you taken the highest praise as a recommendation? Well, if it's the Oscars, then I think no, because I almost never go back and watch Oscar movies that win awards because, first of all, the Oscars committee is so corrupt, it's like a joke. And I watched the Best Picture film this year prior to the Oscars happening, and the one that won, and I was like, The Shape of Water is a weird ass movie. Like, I get it, it's like film noir and it's artsy, but like, what a weird movie. Like, that did not feel like the best picture of the year to me. So, I don't know. The Oscars is such a pile of bullshit. And in like anime awards are even worse. So, I have to say probably not.
I'd say yeah. If something wins a reward, I think it's more my desire just to know what everyone's talking about. And yeah, I'd say awards make me more likely to go and check it out.
I think if I'm already prone to watching it, it winning something will push me to finally do it. For me, it's rarely so that the award is the sole reason as to why I end up watching something. I'm usually more in for a friend recommendation that knows me, or just like really good like staff behind it gets me, and just initial impression after watching like a trailer or something. That's what gets me usually. But awards, that's so subjective, and the people that vote on these things are not people that I relate to all the time, so it's not really that pushes me to watch something.
All right, next mailbag. Who wants to read the next
Yeah,
one?
I got it. So Unique Freak X writes, "Hey AAA crew, I'm a big fan of Battle Royale and survival style anime, but I feel like I've seen a lot of the good ones. I watched all of the Danganronpa's, Fate Zero, Akame ga Kill, Future Diary, Junitai, Magical Girl Raising Project, and Batum. So I'm wondering if you have any recommendations to... Oh, sorry, I spit my tongue. Ow.
Oh
So
no!
I'm wondering
Bit
if
your
you have
tongue?
any... I just bit my tongue. Ow.
He bled for this podcast.
I bleed for you, Unique Freak. So I'm wondering if you have any recommendations for some good Battle Royale or Death Game style anime. Thank you all for keeping me addicted to anime." I actually don't watch a lot of these kind of shows.
Yeah, same. I had a hard time. The one that I was gonna pick is the one that Mitz picked.
Yeah, XTV from 2000, I think.
Yeah,
Is
I think so.
absolutely what you're talking about, and you didn't list it on your list, so I'm guessing
really
you haven't seen it. So you should watch this. It's pretty good.
Does Bokurano count? Does that count as a battle royale?
I don't know.
About the kids who discover that a strange cave and meet a guy who gives them the offer to play a special game where they to like take down these monsters.
You wanna
and
play a
to pilot a
game?
mech.
Do you want to play a
And
game? I'm Batman.
they think it's just a game, but then they find out that it's like real. So I think, yeah, I don't know if that counts as a battle royale though.
You know what's a
It's definitely
really
a survival game, I think.
You know what's a really good survival anime? King's Game.
Yes. Yeah, that's the problem. I
God.
could think of more battle royale survival in manga, but not anime. There's a lot they haven't made.
I'm joking, by the
Game,
way.
Jesus.
Fam.
I know.
I'm joking, fam. King's Game, not worth your damn time.
No, holy shit.
Holy shit, no. Don't watch that anime.
All right, the last mailbag's from Flick the Bean. Why do people do this? I'm gonna stop reading. I'm gonna stop reading mailbags from people who pick inappropriate names. By the way, if you get, or I'll just delete your name. If you get,
Hey, Mitz, do you want to flick my bean?
Oh no, just stop it. Just stop.
Hey, you trying to flick it real good? Huh?
Sorry, I couldn't
Man,
speak over the.
silence.
I couldn't speak over the process of myself re-swallowing my vomit. Flick the Bean writes, if you got sucked in to an anime universe, who would you like to be and why? As for me, Kotetsu Kaburagi from Tiger and Bunny, as I am a working father of 2 girls, he is a good role model of a father. Thanks for making my work go faster. Keep up the good work.
Mine's weird because normally people wouldn't pick something where you could die in it, but I picked Kyoko from 12 Kingdoms because she becomes like a badass queen.
Because you're a damn model anime citizen.
Because you're a model anime. I like that. I
also picked it because she starts off as pretty weak, like she is terrified, and I don't know, I really like her character progression. She goes from like this kind of very timid girl to a very badass queen, and that's what I would like. So yeah.
This is like where I go to my go-to. I would love Toyuki for so many reasons. One, he becomes comfortable with his depression. He expresses it through music. He becomes a successful musician. He gets one of my waifus as his girlfriend, Mahomi Nami. I don't think it gets better for me than that. Music, touring, friends, fucking best girl. Yeah, that's good for me.
For me, it's the faceless main character of the critically acclaimed award-winning hentai Last Train to Gropesville.
Oh my god, no!
Wait, you're gonna get mad at the guy for the name Flick the Bean, and you're gonna say that?
Excuse you? Who are you? Who are you again?
You're speaking to a model anime.
Yes,
that's.
Look, just because you make a recommendation like 12 Kingdoms so you can suck up to the Pope doesn't mean that I can't be in my Last Train to Gropesville, okay? Well, why do you got to rain on my parade?
I'm so sorry.
Mitch is gonna flick all the beans on this damn train.
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus.
He's gonna have a bean in each finger. Flick, 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 flick.
Oh god.
No
They're
one
just lined up in a row.
By the way, no one flicks the bean. Just so you know, that is not a good, not good technique.
That would hurt.
That would be so shitty. You would get kicked in the face.
All right, so we're done.
Happy Mother's
Good
Day.
God,
Oh
we're
my
done.
God.
Happy Mother's Day, people. By the way, next time you see your mother, just think about flicking the bean.
No,
and you'll be good to go.
Stop. End the episode. End it.
All right, so you can find us at our website www.AAAPodcast.com. If you go to AAAPodcast.com/join, you can hear us talk about our hobby addicts, our after parties, and our hentai episodes. If you need something to keep you busy at work for the next 16 years, we have you covered. That's how many episodes there are in there that you haven't heard. So for sure, I mean, literally, there's like 440 of them now or something. So check that out for sure. We talked about the video games that the three of us all played growing up, like what our very first video games were, which is kind of a fun topic. And we're also going to be doing a hentai episode following this episode where we discuss our hentai firsts. And rather than listing them out, because that's very inappropriate, I'm just going to let your imagination run wild and tell you to go, pick up those episodes so you have something fun and cool to listen to. And of course, facebook.com/groups/AAAPodcast. That's where you can find us on Facebook. And, of course, the Discord. The Discord's where you really ought to be heading, because that's probably the hottest place right now for us. And you can get that off the top of the website. So definitely check that out. And thanks for everybody for tuning in. And this is Mitsuki saying peace out, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Love you.